Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to Two Dummies That Just Watch, a sports podcast between friends. This is episode number 88. I am one of your hosts, Will Hernandez, and I am here with my co host for this week, Mr. Eric Pimentel. Sir, the world didn't end because Bad Bunny was the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Everything's all well. Everybody can calm down now. Let's go. Relax. Everyone relax. Anyway, sir, what's going on? How are you doing?
I'm good. I just woke up from that boring Super Bowl.
Bro, I have such a different opinion on that game. We'll get to that. Because we were talking about this yesterday in the chat with Lee J. And for those who are wondering, Lee J's not going to be here this week and next week because he is getting ready to fly to Eric's homeland in the
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. They fly out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So he was taking some not gonna get on when you're running around all over the place trying to get everything ready to get going. So um sir, I've been meaning to ask you. I don't think we talked about this last week. But what do you do for the Super Bowl? Do you have like what do you do? You get a bunch of food together,
Uh,
or like what's the situation?
well, this year I just watched it by myself. It was just me.
Okay, gotcha.
But in previous years, I've invited like my neighbors. Um, this one dude that I'm cool with, Louis. He's originally from New York too, Giants fan.
Okay.
So me and him. Sometimes I invite him and his kids over. But normally, yesterday what I did was I kept it simple. I went to the local supermarket, bought some wings, and
Gotcha.
I also bought some. I made my own little nacho plate, and that's it. I was done after that. I was done.
Nice, nice. Yeah, we bro, that for people who don't know, I think I've mentioned this before, but like the Super Bowl is like a holiday for us.
Mm.
My mom and my stepfather treat it as a holiday. So it's basically Thanksgiving, Christmas, the Super Bowl, Easter, Mother's Day, and Father's Day. It's always like there's something going on. So basically, we had a bunch of people over. It's like maybe 15 people all together.
Mm.
Bunch of food, wings. What else was there? Empanadas, which were I don't know where they get them from, but they were really fucking
Nice.
good. I
Yeah,
don't
my
know.
wife.
Yeah,
My wife sometimes make the empanadas, but it was just gonna be me watching. So like, nah, don't worry about it. Cool.
that's a lot of work for just one person.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Somebody bought flan. I'm not a big fan of. Do you like flan? I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why.
It's
Never
it's
really
all
got
right.
into it.
I've been to some places that make it really well,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's okay.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, for some reason, it's not. It's just not me. One of my sister's friends. I can't remember if I ever took you to Peter Pan Donuts in Greenpoint. Does that
I've
sound
never been there.
familiar at all?
No, I've never.
Okay.
I know we've walked down Manhattan. Is that Manhattan Avenue?
Yeah, it's on
No.
Manhattan Avenue. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never been
yeah.
in there though.
So, and I think I brought this up before on the show that my sister's friend brought two boxes. So 24, 2 dozen, 24 donuts. Bro, I think she got there about a half an hour before kickoff. I went over to the box at halftime. There was like 4 donuts left. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Are you kidding me? And I love those donuts. For anybody who knows, Peter Pan Donuts in Greenpoint. If you've seen it was the last Spider-Man movie, the scene where he goes to visit Peter goes to visit them because she's working at the donut shop. That's Peter Pan Donuts. That's where they filmed that at. So
Mm.
anyway, I
That's
ended
been
up
around for years, right?
oh dude, it's older than me.
Wow.
That place is older than I am. They they've over the years like added flavors and new types of donuts. So I was fortunate that there was still a red velvet donut left. So I'm
Mm.
like, all right, that was pretty good. I'm very simple. Chocolate with sprinkles or like a glazed donut. Those are usually like my go-tos at Peter Pan. But yeah, I brought back some food. It's funny because we get there, I get there, and I have to drive my mom to the shop right nearby because they ordered like the Italian heroes and American heroes. So I'm walking around ShopRite with these two huge fucking boxes under my arm, and I'm like trying to maneuver through the store without like knocking into anybody. But yeah, again, crazy. We do this shit every single year. So um anyway, I think we can get into it here. But before we do that, don't forget that this is a weekly sports podcast, and we come at you each and every week on the podcast platform of your choice. I would say mostly Apple Podcasts and Spotify are the two main uh, services that people use to find us. Don't forget that you can email us at two dummysportspodcast at gmail.com, and that's the number two. I did not even check it today. Let's see. No. Well, Larry likes to send us press releases, so
I thought Lee J was trolling us and sent something.
yeah, yeah. Give me 500 words on Jose Alvarado going to the Knicks. We'll get into that later on. Yeah. Don't forget that we are on social media as well. I would say Instagram and YouTube are probably the two of our most active platform. So I have to say, I was lazy this week putting up the YouTube video and I did not do it. But I'm going to start trying to do something different on YouTube. I was reading something about how it might be better, like tomorrow, put up the full episode, right? And then as the week goes on, put up like just like the segments,
Mm.
cut the video and then put up the segments of like I don't know the Super Bowl, obviously, and then maybe we're gonna talk about the Knicks a little bit, and then maybe we'll do this later on. We got a little special thing to get us going for spring training with an all-time Mets team, which was inspired by something else. So
Have you ever thought about doing like putting up polls, like some about something that we talk about on the show?
yeah, I could actually I gotta see how to add those because you could put a poll with like a video.
Mm.
So I just gotta see how to add that. I do want to because I told you I was thinking about streaming or going live for the St. John's game on Friday. Obviously that did not happen. But here's and I'll ask you now and maybe when Lee J comes back. I think it would be a fun thing. I just gonna need to figure out exactly how to do it. So the first Mets spring training game is let's see, Saturday, uh, February 21st. It's a 1 o'clock game. Now, the only way this is really gonna work, specifically for you, because you get MLB.TV, right? Or
Yeah, I got
my
the app. I got the
okay,
MLB app. Yeah.
yeah. So because I think if the game's being shown on SNY, you'll be able to watch it as part of the subscription, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. I was thinking about not let's not do the whole fucking game, but like maybe the first hour, like the
Hmm.
first 3 innings, we can get on and just like shoot the shit as we're watching baseball for the first time in 2026. But yeah, I need to figure out the logistics on my end because there are things that you can use to where multiple people can log in and be on the stream at the same time.
Hmm.
So I just got to figure out exactly which platform to use. But yeah, that could be an option for the first spring training game of the year. So, all right, last night from when we're recording was the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks have won their second Super Bowl. They beat the New England Patriots. You would think I would have to score up, but I don't.
So
Why do I not?
29 to 13.
29-13. There you go. We did not win our bet, by the way, for those who were wondering. What did we say the final score was going to be last week? 27-21 or some shit, right?
27-21. Yeah, 27-21.
27-21. Damn. Well, listen, if the fucking Patriots offense would have showed up yesterday,
Yeah.
we might have we might have hit that. Listen, and you joked around about it beforehand about it being a boring game. I don't think I necessarily minded the type of game it was, especially through those first two and a half quarters. Um, because it wasn't a shootout by any stretch of the imagination. I think if I'm not mistaken, each team had about the same yards as each other. If I'm not, let me just look up the stats from yesterday. But listen, was it the game that everybody wanted? I don't think so. And one thing I will push back on with some people I was listening to one particular podcast today about saying, "Oh, it didn't feel like a Super Bowl." Come on, guy. I think part of the problem was that people always wanted to be a close game and a shootout. But I also
Yeah.
think, look what happened last year. Last year was a blowout, right? The Eagles completely destroyed the Chiefs. So I think some people were just wondering, wanting
Hmm.
to see like a better game this year, and
I
it just
also
didn't
think
happen. Yeah.
people are used to seeing like Mahomes, the big names in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there weren't really any big names in this Super Bowl, but
Agreed.
I mean, and those are the same people that bitch about when Kansas City makes it every year. Oh, I'm
Right.
tired of Kansas.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
can't have it both ways, bro.
Absolutely. You absolutely can't have it both ways. But so just looking at some of the key stats from the game, I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that listen, Sam Darnold did not have to be a superstar in this game, right?
No.
That's his numbers are pedestrian. He was 19 of 38, 202 yards. He only had one touchdown. He got sacked only one time. His QB rating was only 74.67, and he only averaged 5.32 yards per pass. I mean, what it came down to was Kenneth Walker, who won the MVP. He rushes for 135 yards on 27 carries. He did not have a touchdown, but that didn't really matter at the end of the day. And he averaged 5 yards per gain. And then on the other side, bro, Derek May got sacked 6 times.
Drake May.
Drake May. Why do I keep on saying Derek May? Drake May got sacked 6 times. Um, Listen, that defense. Let me ask you something, because this was something that came up that I kept on seeing, because people were kind of saying that this was like an all-time defensive performance in the Super Bowl, but that a lot of people might not necessarily remember it because you just made the point. Who are the big names in the Seattle Seahawks defense, really? This is not like Richard Sherman
Yeah.
led defense from when they won the Super Bowl the first time around. So, are you in the same camp as that? That maybe people might not remember that this was a great defensive performance from the Seahawks.
I think there'll be more talking about Drake May and how he didn't look prepared,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's true. Yeah.
As good as offense coordinator as Josh McDaniels is, you would think that he would be ready for all the blitzing that Seattle did.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I never played quarterback in the NFL. I don't pretend to, but there's ways to stop a blitz. Is
Sure.
to slow down a blitz.
Hmm.
Quick passes, screenplays. Draws to your running back, and they
Right.
weren't doing a lot of that. It's
Hmm.
like it made no sense to me. And I joked around in our group text where I said that Drake May looks like he's seeing ghosts, and honestly, that's how he looked. That's how he looked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first time you could say, and I know he didn't have a great playoff run leading up to this,
No, he
but
did not.
that's when it goes to show you how it's great to have a young quarterback, but when it comes times like this, give me the veteran quarterback any day of the week because I'm sure, name a veteran quarterback. I mean, I'll put Joe Flacco behind there. And
Yeah,
there were times when there were New England receivers open and Drake
yeah,
May just couldn't get to them, didn't see them open. And
yeah.
and kudos to the Seahawks, for running the blitz packages and things like that. But Josh McDaniel is supposed to be this, guru in offense, and he didn't look like it. And Drake May looked shook.
I will. You bring up the thing with not running the ball. Stevenson only had 23 overall. They had 79 yards on the ground, which is crazy.
Mm,
And it's crazy for me because Henderson for me was a workhorse on my fantasy team this year. And he
mhm,
was like nowhere to be found in this game. He only had 19 yards on 6 carries. Stevenson only had 23 yards on 7 carries. Henderson had one long run for 9 yards and Stevenson had one run for 6 yards. And the running game was like nowhere to be found. I
mhm.
almost wonder if they felt like in some way panicked because they weren't getting much done in the running game, that they had to just keep throwing the ball. I wonder if that was kind of like the what was going on there.
I mean, maybe, but I think obviously it was the wrong way of doing it. But I just think they gave up on a running game too quickly because at halftime you're still in this game.
Oh yeah, they were still in the game. Yeah, that's the thing.
Up pretty much up until the fourth quarter, you're still in the game. Even
Yeah.
though you're not scoring. And here's another thing: you want to talk about analytics. This Super Bowl proves that take the points when you have the
Yup.
points.
Yeah, and they did that. Yep.
Keep kicking field goals, 5 field goals, and that was more than enough.
Right.
And then they scored
Exactly.
the late touchdowns. But this goes to show you this: if this was Dan Campbell, he would have went like 1,000 times for fourth down instead of trying to kick the field goals. Take the points, especially in a Super Bowl. Take the points and then worry about it later.
And the thing was, it's. I'm glad you brought that up because there were times when obviously a bunch of us are watching the game. My brother, our friend Caesar, and some other people watching the game. And I forget, it might have been late, middle to late second quarter. And there was a point where the Seahawks, I think, were like 4th and 8. I think it was between 4th and 6 and 4th and 8, somewhere around there. And they were at about midfield. And I thought to myself, this is what analytics is telling me like right now that the Seahawks are going to go for this.
Mm,
One, because their defense is playing well, and two, because you're kind of in no man's land on the field right there. And they punted the ball. And I was shocked
mhm,
because I almost wonder if that had been a regular season game, if they would have gone for it on that fourth down situation and not punted the ball. So this is one thing I was wondering. Are people going to be more conservative with the play calling in the Super Bowl? Because, like you said, to your point, why would I leave points off, on the field there when
mhm.
you can kick a field goal? And that guy was making field goals easily yesterday. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Especially the way the game was going, where they were dominating.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Why take a chance and go for it, and not make it, and then give the Patriots the ball in the midfield? Why do that?
Mhm.
The punter did a great job too because he kept pinning them inside the 10.
Right.
So
Yes, he
it
did.
was
Yeah.
overall between their kicker and their punter. It was a great special teams game for
Yeah, it was. And I mean, listen, the um the field goal guy could have easily won the MVP yesterday.
them.
Because if I'm not mistaken, did he not hit 5 field goals? Is
Yeah,
that
he
what?
he. I
Yeah.
mean, between that and extra points, he responsible for 17 points yesterday.
Right. So there you go. I mean,
Yeah,
he could have easily been the MVP.
and no
But
no kicker has ever won the MVP before. I think
which is
Vinatieri.
crazy.
I think Adam
Yeah.
Vinatieri came close, but he
Yeah,
never
you
won
would
it.
think Vinatieri would be the guy to do that. That's so interesting. It's funny because at some point, I think it was what midway through the third quarter that nobody had scored a touchdown yet. Neither
Hmm.
team had scored a touchdown yet. So we're all sitting there. We're like, has there ever been a Super Bowl when not a touchdown has not been scored? It's never happened. But there was one Super Bowl where it came close, and it was and I think they said it during the broadcast. It was that Pats Rams Super Bowl
Yeah,
where I think only one touchdown was scored in that game.
in the fourth
So,
quarter.
yeah, right in the fourth quarter. So we came close. It came close to that happening. But things opened up later on in the game, and it just turned into be a blowout. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, at some point, when the fuck are the Pats gonna wake up here
Mm,
and like do something? And guess what happens? People start questioning the schedule. They
yeah.
didn't play anybody during the year. You know, now we're seeing that come to light right now. But I don't know. We talked about that last week, and we didn't think that was a fair
Yeah.
assessment of their season.
Listen,
But
you play who you play. You know, no when the Mets made the World Series in 2000, they didn't play the Braves. You think I was bitching and like, oh, we didn't beat the Braves? No, we made it to the World Series. I don't care.
exactly. Holy shit. Let me ask you this though, because this was also kind of the people like to look ahead to next year. And I'm gonna say right now, for the NFC at least, the Seahawks are probably a good favorite to go to at least, one of the teams to go back to the Super Bowl on the NFC side. Now the thing is, guess who's gonna play a first place schedule next year? The
Oh yeah,
Pats.
yeah.
So after what we saw last night, how much work do the Pats need? They got to fix that offensive line. I would think that's like the biggest concern right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, you hope another year for Drake May. This he'll be his third year. I'm sure they'll work on whatever they need to work on to help. But yeah, offensive line was horrendous. I think I heard a stat on the radio today that they said one of the linemen from the Patriots had about 15 or 16 pressures against him, which was a
Mm,
Super Bowl record.
damn,
Um,
they keep track of that stuff, huh?
yeah, they keep track of everything. It's crazy. Unbelievable. But yeah, it's obviously every team needs to tweak some stuff, whether you win or you don't win. So I'll see. I'll be curious to. I mean, you still got to play. There's some. It's always a tough division.
Yeah,
You're playing Buffalo twice. You know, the Jets hopefully improve. The Dolphins hopefully improve. So who knows? Who knows how next year's going to look for them?
yeah. I'll be curious to see. And you have to imagine their biggest threat from within the division is going to come from the Bills.
Yeah.
And then you never know. Listen, Bo Nix not a great timing for the injury, right? And who
Mhm.
knows if that would have turned out differently a few weeks back with the against the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos are going to be there. Maybe the Bengals bounce back. Uh,
Chiefs might come back.
Chiefs probably will come back. Steelers, I'll be curious to see what happens with because now there's more talk about Rodgers coming back now,
Oh boy.
which is which is like insane.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been having conversations with McCarthy. Let's see. Let's see. Let's look at the too early Super Bowl odds for next year.
I think you have to put in the Ravens too. They're going to be motivated to make John Harbaugh look like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So right now, let's have a little fun with this. The Seahawks makes
Hmm.
sense, right? The Rams, the Bills, the Ravens,
There you go.
the Packers, the Eagles, the Patriots, and the Chargers.
Mm.
Interesting. The odds are already out there, guys. You fucking degenerates. They're already out there.
Giants plus 7,500.
Oh, bro.
Let's go.
Let's take that bet right now. I'll put down $10 on that right now. Let's see what
You know what
happens. Jeez.
the Jets are ridiculous,
What are
bro.
the Jets?
Plus 25,000 for the Jets.
Come on. Holy shit. That's awful. My God. Well, listen, we're gonna have I would say the next time we really talk about the NFL is going to be doing an NFL draft in the post after the NFL draft. So look out for that. Okay, your favorite commercial of the night. What a shit show of commercials they had. My
Yeah.
God, I'd say the Dunkin' Donuts one was pretty good. Um, the 50 Cent one with the door was it DoorDash? Did it actually make it on
I,
the air? The
yeah,
50 Cent one?
I,
Okay.
I think so. I think I remember
Okay.
seeing that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where he was just trolling a bunch of people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mostly like taking veiled shots at Diddy,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Mm-hmm.
thought was funny. Um, yeah, I gotta say there weren't really like any
Yeah,
memorable commercials last
the
night.
the polar bear one with the Pepsi.
Yeah, because
You
making
know,
fun of making fun of
and
Coke with
making
Pepsi.
and
Yeah.
making the cool part was at the end when they got caught in the Coldplay concert. Did
Yeah.
you see that? Man.
Yes.
um,
Holy
which other
shit.
ones that there weren't really that's a lot that stuck out, and obviously it's it's crazy because Super Bowl used to be about besides the game, it used to be about the commercials.
But yeah, obviously,
You
yeah,
know,
of course. Yeah.
I honestly think what's going on is that it's so damn expensive to make in the Super Bowl that
Yeah.
some of these marketing people are like, it's not worth it, Because
I
nowadays
agree.
you could promote yourself everywhere on the internet, YouTube, all of this shit. The
Yeah.
Super Bowl is not the big deal like it used to be before.
Yeah. But yet the price of the commercials keep going up and up and up, which I just don't understand.
I don't get it either.
It makes no. By the way, I forgot to send this to you and Lee J earlier, but do you remember when ABC rejected the WWE's commercial? Do you
Yes, I
remember
saw
that
that.
one
I saw
with
that.
the
Yeah.
one in the old folks' home?
Yes, yes, yes.
What a great commercial that is! Holy shit! Yeah, of course you saw because you, me, and Lee J all got the same fucking algorithm now.
Yeah,
It's
well,
unbelievable.
Lee J sending that stupid shit with the food and all that.
Guys, if you TLC has this show that
Jeez.
people eat like this weird shit. So you got somebody like eating
Cardboard
the
box,
cardboard boxes and pieces of furniture.
cushions. Get out of here, bro. I was just waiting for the dude to pull out some hot sauce and start doing it.
And Lee J watches all this trash reality TV. So he
And then
sends
sends
us
it to
all
us.
this shit. Yeah. It's just like what? The funny one is the guy with the African accent watching
Yeah.
the people, listen, I'm not make listen. The people who have problems with eating a lot of, obese people have eating food and it's a problem for them. But there's this guy on Instagram that does like he makes videos off of the people that go to order their food and stuff like that. And he has he's clearly from Africa, and his accent makes the videos funnier,
That's what makes it funny. Yeah.
and he probably knows that. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know how we got into that topic. Anyway, anything else from the Super Bowl that stood out to you? Again, wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, but I don't know. I just didn't have a problem with the defensive struggle. I kind
Yeah.
of got bummed. I kind of got bummed out when it started pulling away, when the Seahawks started pulling away from the in the game.
I don't mind the defense, a defensive game because it makes for a close game.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think that game was like too discombobulated. Like it felt like
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I wasn't feeling that game.
There wasn't a lot of rhythm to it at
Yeah.
all, and I think I think that's probably the thing that people were looking at the end of the day.
Mm.
But yeah, on to baseball, guys.
Let's go.
Well, before we get there, we've got a lot of basketball to go. So, the Knicks, who got completely destroyed the other night on Friday night against the Pistons. And I get it. Cat was out. OG was out. They were resting a lot of guys. It was
Load
night.
management.
Yeah. Load D's. It was the second game of a back to back. Um, when do they play again? They play tomorrow against the Pacers at the Garden. So it's a back to back, another back to back. They play tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow against the Pacers, and then Wednesday against
Listen,
the
no, the All Star.
76ers.
I think the All Star game break is after that. So
Yeah, the All Star game is back after that because they won't play again until the 19th. So they got some.
no
Yeah,
resting. This
yeah,
play your fucking games.
yeah, exactly. Today, this week you got to play your guys anyway. So obviously, a lot of the trade talk heading into this trade deadline for the NBA was what was going to happen with Giannis. Giannis this, Giannis that, and guess what? Giannis didn't go anywhere. He's still with the Bucks. But the Knicks did make a pretty significant move as far as solidifying their backcourt. And I know you and Lee J are excited about this. So the Knicks acquired Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans for Dalen Terry and two second round picks. And they also got the draft rights to this guy, Latavius Williams, which I don't really know much about that whole situation, but um, I got to do some digging onto that. But here's the funny thing is that the Knicks actually traded for Terry the day before when they traded Gershon Yabusel to the Bulls for Terry and cash considerations. And the reason at the end of the day why the Knicks traded for Alvarado is because we found out that Deuce McBride is going to be out for, they're saying, almost the rest of the regular season
Mm.
due to what can be best described as a core muscle injury. He might have a hernia. I think that's what that means. So, for those who are unaware, Alvarado was from Brooklyn and he went to Christ the King, the venerable Christ the King High School in Queens before going to Georgia Tech. He was a huge Knicks fan as a kid, so he's coming back home to the Knicks. And yeah, listen, I know, and you and Lee J are thrilled about this in various ways, but give me your take on Alvarado coming to the Knicks.
He defense first. That dude is a pesky son of a bitch. When it comes, yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
seems like he is. Yeah.
bro, and I don't know. I don't know if I sent you this video. So there's a highlight reel of him
Okay.
just stealing the ball, and it's
Really?
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, his they call him Grand Theft Alvarado. That's what they call him.
Oh, I
So
like that. I like that. That's good.
so so he, defensive specialist. He's a guy that's going to bring energy off the bench. Um, he scored 12 points the other night against Boston.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
you,
So
you know,
yes.
I think I love the move. I love the move even before I heard about the McBride injury,
Mm,
and I loved it even better after I heard it. So
yeah.
what this means moving forward, I think Tyler Kolek is going to get less minutes because
Yeah.
which I'm
Yeah.
cool with. I don't want him buried, but I
Right.
want
Yeah.
I want Alvarado to play the majority of those minutes. And I also think this trade is big. Just looking at Detroit and Cade Cunningham. So I
Right.
think
Yeah.
this is a move to help, guard Cade Cunningham in the playoffs and stuff moving forward. I can't say anything bad about this move. I love it.
Yeah. The one thing, it's funny you mentioned. It all makes sense now with his nickname. Did you see the one? There was the one highlight that I kept. I must have watched this several times because I had never seen this before. When the Celtics were inbounding the ball, he was in
Mhm.
the corner like hiding.
Oh, he does it all the time.
I didn't know that's the thing that
Yeah,
he
I'm gonna
does.
send you. I'm gonna send you that video
Yeah,
after we finish
you
recording.
should. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I was like, that's actually pretty damn smart to do because you're
it's
not even
amazing how
thinking
many
about
times.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing how many times he does that. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
that's crazy to me.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean about, he's just a pesky dude. I think he caused like maybe 4 turnovers, or he was part of, 3 or 4 turnovers yesterday. He
Mhm.
was pesking what's his name? Jared Brown, Jalen
Yeah,
Brown.
Jalen
Um,
Brown.
he
Yeah.
he was messing with him the whole game, so it's a move for the playoffs in particular. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then they have a decision to make in the playoffs when McBride comes back. Um, and then that's probably when Kolek is going to get buried. Um,
Yeah, I can see that.
but yeah,
I can definitely see that.
I definitely love the move, and um, I just besides that little losing streak that the Knicks went into, that everybody was going nuts except for me and Lee J. We were like, calm the hell down,
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
Um, but I just love the fact. The one thing I can say about Mike Brown as a coach, that he's playing guys like, I got to give a shout out to Mohamed Diawara, the rookie that they got from France.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
dude, he's 6'9", and he's guarding point guards. He's guarding, big men, and
Yeah.
he's going to be a good player. If that's another guy I want them to keep playing. I mean, they got him with the 61st pick in the draft, so and
Right.
he's looking really, really good. I'm getting excited with him too.
So, as you mentioned, a little bit of a losing streak, but the Knicks now have won 9 of their last 10. They are tied for second place in the East behind the Pistons. And they're tied with the Celtics. I don't know if you I don't know this whole thing with the standings. Only 3.5 games separates the number 6 team, which
Mm,
is the 76ers, and the number 2 team, which is the Knicks right now. So
yeah,
everybody's bunched up there in the East in those first 6 spots. So it's really important that the Knicks keep on playing the way they're playing and finish. You want to finish at least 2 or 3.
yeah.
I don't think you want to drop farther than that.
Two, one, obviously one is where I want to be, but
Well, yeah, right, right,
two
right, right,
is
right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
two is where I'll like to be. But here's a stat that I thought of you when I heard this stat. I was
Oh,
like,
jeez.
I gotta let Will know this.
This has to do with 3 pointers, doesn't it?
It does. So Boston only made 7 3-pointers last night. Guess how many they shot?
Oof, I didn't watch the game, so I'm gonna say 62.
Well, not damn, not that much. They went 7 for 41, bro.
Damn.
That's
What's the math on that? 7 for 41. What does that come out to?
I don't know. What's the percentage
Hold
on
on.
that?
I gotta do this because it's gonna bother me. Where's my calculator app here? So you said 7 for 41?
Yeah.
41 divided by 7 equals. No, that's not right. What am I doing here? I don't. This is why I used to be a writer. 17%. My God,
That's horrendous.
that is awful.
And the rest of the shot, they shot 37% for the game,
For
which
the
is horrendous.
game.
Yeah.
Ugh, golly, that is ugly. Listen, I'm not gonna get into it because this is just the way. I think I was watching. I was watching the beginning of the game on Friday before the St. John's game started. I watched like the first half an hour, and there was one fast break with Landry and somebody else, and they had a 2-on-1, and Landry just the guy was open underneath the basket. But he just shakes up a three. I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Bro, that's the new age NBA. Like a fast break is run, 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 stop at the 3-point line. That's the new age fast break.
Talk about leaving points on the table.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let's not take the easy fucking layup underneath the basket. We got to shoot a damn 3-pointer. Come on, guys. My goodness. Let's see if the Knicks can you know win a couple of games here to end the first half. Well, they're already past the first half. Let me ask you something before we talk about the Nets quickly. Any interest in watching any of this stuff this weekend for NBA All Star Weekend?
Hell no.
When was the
Hell no.
last time you think you watched like the slam dunk contest? Because that used to be a thing. Like I used to
Bro,
watch it all the time.
it's been a long time, bro. I can't even remember. I think if I had to guess, I would think the last one I saw was when Blake Griffin jumped over that car.
Okay, yep, that was
And
a good
I
one.
don't how long ago was that? That was a
It was a
long time
while
ago.
ago. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a
yeah,
while.
yeah. That's something, man. I was. It's funny because I was watching some highlights. Because the slam dunk contest is coming up. They were slowing some old school stuff, and it was
Yeah.
like, man, so much better back then. And the thing is like the slam dunk contest is something where you've seen pretty much every dunk somebody could do.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
Now it's all about props. Like, what am I going to jump
Yeah.
over? Who am I
Yeah.
going to jump over? And to me, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, enough is enough. You can't, unless you're going to jump off the scoreboard or something, you're not doing anything that anybody else ever did. Come on.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I have to admit, I'm a little bit intrigued by how they're going to do the format this year, with it being USA versus the world. Uh, you're welcome for that NBA because Lee J and I talked about that last year after the NHL did the same thing with their All Star thing. So I'm a little bit intrigued by that, but I don't know. Like I know what is it, Cat Brunson, and who else are going to be like in the
Allen Houston.
Allen Houston, right? They're going to be
Yeah.
in the challenge thing,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I gotta be really fucking bored this weekend to watch that. I mean, I don't have a date. It's Valentine's Day, so that's out of the question.
Oh
There's
boy.
something on TV this weekend. Oh, I'll probably watch the AEW because they're gonna be in Australia. Um, but I'm probably not gonna watch the game on Sunday. I might tune in just to kind of see what it's about, but I don't know. It's
Let,
just it's not the same anymore.
let's do a dial a date for Will for Saturday, please.
God,
Somebody
no.
call in.
You kidding me, bro? It's Saturday night to go out is awful. In general, it's
Yeah.
awful. Can you imagine Valentine's Day being on a Saturday?
Bro, I'll tell you this. So I was, me and my wife, we don't really do the Valentine. I mean, we go out to dinner so often
Yeah, yeah,
that it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
whatever. But I
yeah, yeah,
figured,
yeah.
okay, we haven't done nothing in a while, so I'm gonna take her out to dinner. But bro, any of
Nice.
these nice fancy restaurants around here, reservations are all gone.
Oh yeah, they're done. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
done.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
we just said, you know what, we're gonna go out Friday night, and
yeah. There
that's
you
it.
go. That's exactly what you do. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've done that. When I've been in relationships, we have done that. We've gone
Hmm.
out like the day before, the day after.
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous, dude.
Because a lot of times it falls on during the week. This is the first time in a
Right.
while that I remember it being on a Saturday. So the combination of it being on a Saturday, plus it's a Valentine's Day, everybody's going out.
By the way, next year the Valentine's Day is going to be on the same day as the Super Bowl. How many
Nice.
divorces do you think are going to happen post
Listen,
Super Bowl next year?
plan ahead, guys. Do it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Plan ahead.
That's exactly what you got to do. That's exactly what you have to do next year. Holy shit! All right. I don't really have much to say about the Nets, but here's the thing I don't understand, and I don't know. Maybe you can help me figure this out because I don't know. They made some minor moves. Honestly, it's not even worth getting into, to be quite fucking honest. But this whole thing with Cam Thomas, right? They waived him,
Mm,
which is crazy to think about. But we know what's happening here.
yeah.
So there were two things that I was reading about why this happened because I really want to see like what was the reason behind this. So I came up with these two things. Number one, they really couldn't find the trade partner, which I'm to be honest with you surprised, and I wonder if it's because of the fact that he's been streaky the whole year. Listen, he missed 20 games early in the year. He had the bad hamstring and it took him a while to get going. But it's crazy because you look at some of his box scores. He's had games where he scored as many as 41 points. He did that against San Antonio earlier this season. Then he's had games where he has scored 0 points. That happened against the Pacers. And then against the Knicks, he had a 5 point game,
Mm,
which is like, what a, not to make fun of it, but kind of bipolar situation there. Number two, one less talented player means the Nets can tank more.
yeah.
And bro, I don't know if you keep on hearing this, but all I keep on reading about is how deep the NBA draft is supposed to be this year. That there are a lot of guys that are going to be coming out of college that are going to make this draft especially deep.
Mm,
And all we've been hearing about the Nets the past few seasons is, stocking up on fucking draft picks, draft picks, draft picks, draft picks, draft picks. But it's like, bro, at what point do you have to say that the rebuild is over
Yeah.
and you have to actually start winning games?
Mhm.
Like I don't understand what is going on here. I mean, as a Knicks fan, when you see what the Nets are doing, I mean, like, what's your take on the plan? Because I don't even know if they have a plan half the time, to be quite
Yeah.
honest with you.
I think you're right about them tanking. Obviously, I just think that I kind of compare it to when the Knicks were in the doldrums, where no major free agent wanted to come to the Knicks. So they were just
Yeah,
signing like the average dude, or they were signing washed up veterans and things like that. I think what the Nets, it's I like the idea of getting the youth. I get
I do
that.
too. Yes, right. Yes,
But you need to find that one free agent. Doesn't have to be a top tier free agent, but it
right.
needs to be somebody at least like an all-star, let's say,
Sure.
to say, okay, I believe in this team. I'm going to sign with this team, and then build that person around all of these guys you're going to draft. That's the only way I see them getting out of this, because you got to find the right guy. Like the Knicks struggled with that for freaking years. I mean, they tried to get LeBron. LeBron said no. Dwayne
Hmm.
Wade said no. All of these guys, so and then they had to settle for Amari Stoudemire, which Amari Stoudemire, great player, but he was washed when he came to the Knicks. He had 1.5 good seasons, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So you need to find that, or even a guy that's not an all-star yet, but you could see him rising year by year to
Right.
where on the Nets he could take that next step. That's the only way I see it. But as far as a plan, right now their plan is to tank pretty much, man.
Yeah, I know. And that was like people were getting upset in the beginning of the season, and these idiots I follow on X on Twitter, these fan accounts that because they actually started off the season not bad. They
Mm,
were winning a pretty decent amount of games at a decent clip. And I was thinking, oh shit, maybe they actually might win 25, 30 games. But right now, they're 14 and 37.
yeah,
I would be shocked if they hit 20 wins this
yeah,
year. Shocked.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
just I again I don't if you're looking at the worst records in the NBA right now, the Sacramento Kings are 12 and 42. The Pacers are 13 and 40, and we know this guy's out. Whatever. It's a lost season. Whatever. Next, the Pelicans are 14 and actually the Wizards 14 and 38. And then we know why Davis is like sitting out for the rest of the year. Uh Pelicans are 14 and 40. The Nets are 14 and 37. And then you got the Jazz at 16 and 37 and the Mavericks at 19 and 33. I feel like at least the Mavericks are kind of going someplace with like a guy with Cooper Flag, you know?
Mm,
Whereas the Nets don't have that at all.
yeah.
So I just don't listen. It's funny because Lee J earlier today texted me if I want to go to the Nets Knicks game in March. It's on a Friday night, but it's during the NCAA tournament. I'm like, bro, St. John's in the tournament, which they're going to be at this point,
Mm,
and we'll talk about them a little bit. Um, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be home watching St. John's.
yeah, yeah,
So and again, I would rather do that than watch the Nets get fucking blown out by 40 points
yeah. No, I
against
agree.
against the Nets. It's just like, come on, man. I don't know, bro. It's frustrating for me because I have not watched one Nets game this year because I know what I'm watching. Like I
Hmm.
I see what is happening here, and to me, that is not entertaining at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
So I don't
You,
know, dude. It's
they just,
frustrating.
like I said, you just need that one guy to say, "I'll go play for you," or
Yeah.
trade for a guy like that, and hopefully he stays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, again, going back to like comparing it when the Knicks were terrible, they traded for Carmelo, and they traded a boatload of people for Carmelo, which at the time people were not didn't really like, because
Yeah. I remember
they
that.
they
Yeah.
gave up like half their team, but none of those guys ended up being any good.
Yeah.
So, but you had Carmelo there, you paired him with Omari, and they had that one good year, and then after that, Omari got wasn't the same, and then it was just Carmelo and a bunch of nobodies. So
Mhm.
that's where you run into the issue where you got to either trade a guy, trade for a star, or close to being a star, and then pair him with these young rookies, and then hopefully those guys stay on the team. Or you don't want to trade them like when they traded what's his face to the Knicks. Um,
Right.
I can't remember his name now, but you know what I'm talking about. They traded him to the Knicks when they were trying to build the shooting guard for the Knicks. I can't forget his name now.
Oh, Bridges?
Bridges, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
had they kept Mikal Bridges was a good player for them. Then
No, he was.
they traded him to the Knicks because they were trying to tank. So it's kind of like the same thing they're doing again.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know who's even out there that would be a guy that you would even go after. You
Yeah,
know?
it'll have to be. I mean, you're gonna have some good draft picks. You had a bunch of draft picks last year, which they didn't trade none of them. Which um,
Yeah, which I don't understand at all.
they're gonna have to they're gonna have to get creative. They're gonna have to get creative with a trade, or maybe get a third team involved to get somebody that's good that wants to come here and stay here.
I'm looking at a list of free agents that are coming up after the season. I, I don't. There's nobody really here. And again, listen, I'm not the guy to be, you know, doing this because I don't really watch a lot of the NBA. But I know who the superstars are.
Mm.
Well, Draymond Green's going to be a free agent. There you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's got a player option, so potential free
He's
agent.
gonna come to the Knicks and mess with Legion.
But there's not like one person here that's like standing out to
Yeah.
me at all. Donich, who has a player option, that would be interesting if he hit the free market again. I doubt it's going to happen though.
No. I mean, from
Uh,
the list I'm looking at, yeah, you don't have much, man.
no, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Honestly, the one of the best ones is a Knicks free agent, Mitchell Robinson, and I don't want him
Yep,
going
I see
anywhere.
that. Yep, and Bridges is a free agent too,
Yeah,
ironically. So
yeah,
yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's just yeah, I'm going through this every single team. Oh yeah, let's get Kevin Durant back. Fuck out of here. That guy sucks. Uh, yeah,
yeah. I mean,
bro.
you got a couple of good veterans: Tobias Harris, Jordan Clarkson, who's on the
Yep,
Knicks now.
yep. I saw that. Yeah.
But yeah, you got some veterans here, but nobody really sticks out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll be curious to see what happens this offseason. Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's not a good free agent class this year. You probably could punt until next year or make a trade.
Well, that's what I mean. They're probably. I mean, how much longer are you going to stock up on these picks
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these guys you drafted? They all can't play.
Hmm.
We say that all the time here. All right, halftime. The reason I wanted to bring this up, you can imagine why. Because in this whole situation, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but you can tell me from your perspective. Like, I have to imagine where you are. It's a similar situation. So what am I talking about? As all you guys know, my car's in a shop right now. After I'm not even going to get into it. A snowplow hit me on the property. I think I went over this whole thing last week. I can't even remember at this point. So I've got a car rental until tomorrow. And then I was talking, Eric and I were just talking about this before we hopped on about the fact that there's this app called Turo that is basically, it's like an Airbnb for cars. People put up if they have an extra car, they make it available for like a rental. And it is generally much cheaper than going to any of these car rental places. And I actually found that there was one, again, mentioned this to Eric beforehand. There's an SUV for rent that I can get for almost a week and a half at just a little bit more of a price than I would have gotten it at a car for this car rental that I just did for 4 days. So, and they give you a discount. The longer you rent it for, you get like a $50 discount. So for a week, I would get like $50 off. Anyway, up here, there are buses that you can take, but I am not taking a bus to the gym. That's not happening. This is not New York City. Like the bus comes once every like 45 minutes around here. And then there are Ubers as well, but the Ubers are a little bit more expensive up here than I would like. And then there is like I guess you can call them like gypsy cab situation
Mm,
where they are maybe $10 to get to where I need to go, but I can't find a number for any of these people. I see them on the streets over here, and bro, let me tell you something. These guys' cars are so like wrecked that I don't want to be in. Dude, I'm serious. Every single one of these yellow cab companies that I see in Newburgh, they've got some kind of major dent. Fucking guy's got a bumper falling off. They drive like maniacs around here. It's just ridiculous. Not having a car in a suburban area like this sucks. It is fucking awful. And like I'm fortunate because I could afford to do a rental. And my downstairs neighbor was like, "Hey, because she works from home too. He was like, "Hey, if you want to use my car during the day to like go get your groceries or whatnot, that's fine. I trust you or whatever." But it's like I don't want to do that.
mm.
Like I appreciate it. Trust me, I appreciate the gesture, but I just don't want to do it. It just kind of reminds me if you live in certain places in this country and if you don't have a car, you're fucked.
Mm.
Like completely, completely fucked. I have to imagine it's the same thing in Buford where you are.
Yeah, so out here in the Atlanta metro area, they have a train service called MARTA. So MARTA
Marta, yes, yeah,
stands for Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. That's what it stands for.
yeah.
The only thing is that MARTA, where I live in Gwinnett County, so laws have been they've tried to pass laws to have MARTA come into Gwinnett County,
Oh,
but
really?
it
Okay,
keeps getting denied. Like nobody in Gwinnett County wants to have MARTA come down here.
interesting.
And honestly, I see why. I know why because living in a suburban area, it would bring some people that you just don't want in the suburban area. Let's just put it that way.
You
So
fucking racist motherfucker.
no. Not like that. Not like that. But I know that when I first moved down here to Georgia in 2013, I knew okay, I need to have a reliable vehicle.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's when I heard about the whole MARTA thing, how every year they try to pass the law to have it go to Gwinnett. Gwinnett County doesn't have it. Cobb County doesn't have the train. They do have like Greyhound buses that like you could drive your car to the parking lot and then take a
Yep.
bus into
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yeah. They
You-
got that around here too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could do that. But I mean, you got to know where you live. If you're gonna live in a suburban area, this is the stuff you gotta have to deal with.
Yeah.
So I kind of I kind of like being away from stuff. So I don't mind that. I remember the last year the last 6 or 7 years that I lived in New York, where I moved to Mill Basin, which is
Oh
like on
yeah.
the way on the other side of Brooklyn by Marine Park area, stuff like that.
Yeah. There's no
There would
trains out there.
there's no trains out there.
Yeah.
There's no trains out there. There's buses, but there are no trains. And I remember there were times where my vehicle wasn't working well, and I used to work in the Bronx.
Oh
Um,
shit.
yeah, so I had to a couple of times I had to take a bus to a train to then another train to then another train. but
Damn, bro.
but I only did that for about a week, and I was like, I am not doing this. I ended I ended up finding a coworker that lived like 10 minutes from me,
Oh,
and
nice.
he
Okay.
and he was already like picking up guys, and we would pay him
Mhm.
instead of having to pay MTA. We would give him like $40 for the week,
Yeah. Right.
and he had a minivan, so he would pile on like 5 people, and we would all go to
Nice.
work at the same time. So he was making his money, and it was easy. I didn't need to get on no train and transfer 5,000 times to get to
Right.
work. So yeah, you got to find a way. And I know this is a definitely a thing when New Yorkers move down here to Georgia or any
Mhm.
suburban area. A lot of the complaints that I hear that people they're not used to that. They're not
Yeah.
used to
Right. Yeah.
they want to be able to get on a train to go to their doctor's appointments or whatever.
Mhm.
And when you come down here, you got to have a vehicle or else you're screwed. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's like the the one the one good thing around where I am is that you can easily, if you wanted to, if you don't have a car, you can easily. There is a shuttle bus that goes to the commuter rail station,
Mhm.
the Metro North, and then that gets you down. That gets you down to the city. So, like, I feel like worst comes to worst, if I don't have a car this weekend, which I'm probably not going to have one. I haven't decided yet when I'm gonna the timing of all this. But like, if worst comes to worst, if I get really bored and I need something to do, I can go hop on the shuttle bus, grab the commuter rail, and then go to any place I want to along that line. The problem is when I get back.
Mm.
If I get back too late, guess what? That shuttle bus is not running,
Yeah.
and then I gotta fight for a Lyft or an Uber at that time. But yeah, dude, it just makes me. I was thinking about it when I got a Lyft to go to the Enterprise place to pick up the car, and I'm talking to the Lyft driver about, like, yeah, you're fucked. You're
Mm.
completely fucked up here if you don't have a car. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
And it's funny because over here, like, and it's all I know what it is. It's all about advertising where you live and things like that.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I live, guys, just giving you a kind of picture of where I live. So I live in Buford, Georgia, which is about, on a good day, it's about a 30-minute drive into Atlanta.
Hmm.
On a bad day, it's like an hour and a half. Um,
It's ridiculous.
but it's funny how they advertise Buford and some of these other towns as Metro Atlanta. We are
Yeah.
not Metro Atlanta. If
Yeah.
there's no trains or buses that come down this way, how could you be considered Metro Atlanta?
Yeah. That's a
We're
good point.
we're a
Yeah.
suburb of Georgia. That's all we are. But
Yeah.
these real estate companies and stuff, they want to say, oh, yeah, you live in Metro Atlanta because you could drive into Atlanta. Come on,
Yeah,
give me a break.
right. Yeah, that's probably the reason why. I
Yeah.
mean, you think about this, it probably adds some value to your house only because, if you're in a certain driving distance of a major city,
Oh,
I
of
would
course. Yeah.
imagine that that's like you know, that's something that's like that's an advantage for you. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't change anything. I guess I will say that the one thing is the one mistake I made when I moved here is that I didn't change my car insurance to include the rental because I
Mm.
was living in Boston at the time when I got the car, and it's like, oh, if I'm out without my car in Boston, no big deal
Yeah.
because everything is around me within walking distance, supermarket, gym. That's all I really need.
Yeah.
But I should have made that change when I moved up here, and I didn't do it. By the way, I finally changed the address for the car.
Hmm.
Right,
Insurance went
my
down.
insurance went up
Up.
$100.
Oh
Up.
shit. Okay.
Because it'll look, it's New York, baby.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
It went up $100. I'm like, you gotta be
Jeez.
shitting me.
Yeah.
But the thing
Yeah.
was, I had to change it because they were asking me where I was gonna get the repair done. I'm like, oh fuck. I had been kind of like, not wanting to
Hmm.
do that to try to get the cheaper insurance, but nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got my ass. So thanks a lot, New
Yeah.
York. Appreciate it.
One way or another, they get you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. We're moving along here. We don't have to stay on St. John's for too long, but I will say that they had a big game on Friday. I don't know if you saw any of this.
Saw some of the highlights,
They,
but I didn't see the game.
um, yeah, this was. I know we don't talk about St. John's a whole lot, but I figured they did beat UConn on Friday night. It was a big game. UConn was ranked number 3 at the time, and St. John's won 81-72, and that snapped the Huskies' 18-game winning streak. It also gave Rick Pitino win number 900, tying Roy Williams for third all time in Division One men's coaching wins. This was, guys, if you've watched Big East basketball, and I'm talking about like old school Big East basketball, this was this type of game in the beginning. And it's weird to me because, and this has happened to St. John's under Patino. and you could probably speak to this in some way, watching the Dukies, because I know they lost to North Carolina on Saturday on the last second shot.
Mm.
But I always feel like Duke, North Carolina, right? St. John's UConn game. I'm trying to think of like another big. What's another big college basketball rivalry? Uh,
Oh,
Even Kentucky
shit.
Duke in some
Yeah.
ways, maybe. I feel like guys get up more for those games than other ones because they realize the importance. And then when you watch them play against other teams, it's not that they're not as excited, but you just don't see the same type of energy there.
Mm.
I mean, is that fair to say? Do you think
Oh yeah,
when you're
yeah.
watching some of these games?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's only fair. I mean, you build on these rivalries. You learn it from the time you put on the uniform. It's like we can't
Mhm.
lose to this team.
Yeah, exactly.
Football is Michigan, Ohio State, thing like that. It's like
Right. Yeah.
Michigan. You can have a shitty year as long as you beat Ohio State. We good.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
so,
Exactly.
so I'm
That's
sure it's
true.
the same way with Duke, UNC, and St. John's, UConn, and stuff like that. So yeah, I could definitely see where there's some added energy, added uh, pep in the step to each team. I could see that.
Yeah, and you can see like within the first minute, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be this type of game for
Yeah.
St. John's because I could tell like the energy was completely different, and I'm like, damn, they need to play like that the rest of the way. I think because look at I think right now, if you had to put a gun to my head, they're probably anywhere between a number 3 and number 6 seed in the tournament right now.
Where are they ranked right now?
They're ranked to 17 in the
17.
country.
Okay.
Yeah, in both polls, they're 17. And don't forget when they started the season, they were 5.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of hype for this team coming in here,
Yeah.
and I will take back what I said at the beginning because I can admit when I'm wrong. And I think I remember complaining about them playing such a tough schedule to start the year. And I thought, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why not gradually build yourself up to where maybe you're playing these major top teams in the beginning of December, right before the conference? But what did they
Uh,
do? They played Kentucky. They played in these tournaments. They played, I think, in 2 different tournaments. And guess what Patino said on Friday after the game? He was like, "Those games, even though we lost and we were struggling, they put us to where we are now because we learned our lesson from those losses."
yeah.
So I take it back. I take back what I said. I take back what I said because the Hall of Fame coach knows better than this idiot over here, this dummy over here. But listen, if they can, I don't know if they're going to run the table the rest of the way out. They play Xavier tomorrow, and then Saturday they got to play Providence in
That's always a tough
Providence.
game. Yeah.
And that is, listen, guys, I've seen 2 St. John's Providence games in Providence. Those people are fucking brutal. And they hate St. John's. Like,
Mm,
hate them. It's that New York City hate, bro. It's like,
yeah.
it's that New England it's that Boston, even though the Providence, it's that Boston versus New York shit. And they hate Patino too. 'Cause don't forget, he coached there at some point, but
Hmm.
they hate his ass over there now. So listen, that Saturday's gonna be a tough game. I was actually thinking about if I have the car, I'll have to see. I was actually thinking about going to that game. It's like I don't know, like 2.5 hour drive from here, so we'll see. But I don't know if they're gonna win out the rest of the way, but I think if they keep up this consistency, they can probably be like a number 6 seed, and they could probably get to as high as number 3 if maybe they win out
Hmm.
and then get themselves to the Big East tournament like championship game
Yeah.
because it's probably going to come against UConn.
I think a good sign, because I heard this on the radio today, was that the crowd was pretty much, it was like an 80-20 St. John's,
Yes, yeah,
which they were surprised about because they were
yes,
like, no, normally St. John's, I mean, the Garden holds like 18, 19,000.
yes,
Normally
yes,
St. John's will get a good 10, 11, but then
right,
the other 8 would
yes.
be UConn.
Well,
So,
UConn, yes, yeah,
so
yeah.
they were a lot more St. John's fans, which is a good sign.
No, it was. And listen, we've said it last year was special, especially in New York City basketball, because we all know what the Knicks did, and St. John's did things last year. Listen, they lost in the second round, sucked. We know that, but they won the Big East tournament championship, which they hadn't done in like 20 something years. Bro, when St. John's and the Knicks are
Hmm.
playing well at the same time, that garden is crazy. I
Yeah.
don't think people like realize the connection there when both of those teams are playing really well. They were sold out Friday,
Mm.
right? They sold out that building, and like you said, even the announcers made a comment. They were like, "It's a lot of there's a lot of St. John's fans here." And for those who don't know, those UConn motherfuckers, they travel well.
Yeah.
They're very much like the Kentucky fans that travel very well.
Bro,
So,
I'll never forget the game that me and you went to in '99. It was the Duke St.
oh,
John's game.
against Duke, yeah,
Bro, I'll never it was I think that game went into overtime.
it did, yeah.
Bro, I'll never forget. I mean, Duke had a monster squad. It was, I think Jay Williams was on that team.
Yeah.
Elton Brand was on that
Yep.
team.
Yep.
Yeah, that was and it was a great game. I think it was at that point. It's the best basketball game I've ever been to. I only been to two basketball games, and they're both college games, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was an amazing game. I still to this day talk about it sometimes.
Yeah, dude, that was I don't think I've ever explained this on the show before, but so when I really got into basketball was the last sport that I got into. So I was a St. John's fan because they were always being shown on TV, but I just gravitated towards that Duke squad. Especially that was the year when they, Christian Laettner with the shot against
Hmm.
Kentucky. So like for a long time, I was more of a Duke fan than a St. John's basketball fan. So the game that Lee J is talking to, us two idiots sitting in the student section of St. John's at the Garden wearing Duke jerseys.
We're the only two in the student section.
Which is fucking insane.
To me,
Oh my
it
god.
didn't bother me at all because I've been a Duke fan my whole life.
Right.
But
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
folks, Will wrote for the St. John's newspaper.
Yes. I
He's
did.
going for
Yes.
Duke.
Yeah. And I was going for Duke. Hey, that shows you don't have any favoritism, right?
I was like,
Bro,
how is this gonna work out?
I got a lot of shit for that,
I'm
dude.
sure
You
you
have
did.
no idea. I got a lot. When I walked into that newspaper office on Monday, I got a lot of shit for that. Holy God. It's funny. It is funny though, because it's like, I don't know at what point did I just stop watching Duke. It just happened. It just kind of like naturally happened to where I stopped. You know what the problem was? I think back in the day,
Mm,
as teenagers and whatnot, we had so much time on our hands.
yeah.
Bro, I watched anytime Duke was on
Hmm.
like national TV or ABC or ESPN. Bro, I watched all those fucking games, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of them.
I would say I went a little bit of time where I stopped. Not that I stopped rooting for Duke, but I stopped
Yeah.
watching like you said, like religiously every time they were on
Yeah.
TV. I would watch it,
Yeah.
and I kind of picked back up a little bit about maybe 5 6 years ago. I picked back up again.
Oh, is them okay, cool.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I was still, obviously watching them in the tournament and things like that. I think the Shane Battier championship that they won when Battier was
I
on that team.
watched that whole thing. Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
That was yeah.
But yeah, I had a little bit of a lull too with Duke, just because, like you said, I mean, you're an adult, you got more responsibilities, you don't got time to
Right.
watch.
Yeah.
You're already watching Mets, you're already watching Giants. It's like, damn, I got to fit another team
Exactly.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Right.
get it, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. And then it was just like, I should I at some point I was like, I'm just gonna go all in back on St. John's and just worry about like what St. John's is doing. And it's paying off now
Yeah,
in a lot of different ways because they have not been great. Which is crazy to think about playing in New York City. But it went through some. There was a lot of excitement when Steve Lavin was here, and then when Chris Mullen was the coach, everybody was like, "Oh,
yeah,
this is it, national championship." And that was a shit show.
yeah.
That turned out to be a fucking shit show at the end of the day.
In
And
my
now,
case,
yeah,
yeah, no. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and now with Patino here,
Yeah, yeah,
of all the people, the man who I hated, the man who I hated for very, very long,
yeah,
and now he's the one that's making a difference.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think in my case, like it's weird that I never became a St. John's fan. Obviously, I attended St. John's for
Right.
youth,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
mean, I never rooted against St. John's was like one of those teams when they're good. Hey, what? It's New York. I'm going to root
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
when we were there, they had some good teams.
They
You know,
did.
Zendon
Yeah.
Hamilton, Ron Artest,
Right. Yeah.
Eric Barkley.
Yep.
And some of those dudes were in my classes.
Right. Same
So
here. Yeah. Yeah.
my favorite was LeVar Postel. He was one of my favorite
Oh
dudes.
God, he was awesome.
He was an animal.
He was a
Um,
great dunker.
yeah, he was. He played for the Knicks for a little bit of time too. The
Right.
Knicks
Yep. Yep.
Knicks drafted him, I think. Yeah. So they had that 98, 99, 2000. They had a good run,
Yeah.
that year. Yeah.
That was almost the time because they lost to, I think it was Auburn in the Elite Eight that year, if I'm not mistaken. That was the year that Barkley was there, and I think the starting lineup, if I'm not mistaken, was Barkley, uh, Postel,
Mhm.
Artest, Tyrone Grant, and Chudney Gray
Mhm.
was the one of the guards on that team, if I'm not
Was it
mistaken. So
Was it Bootsy who was on that
Bootsy
team too?
came afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a year later, but he was there when you know. Actually, no, I think you're right. I think Bootsy was that year, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
I think he was
Yeah,
on the 99 team, I believe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was. I know Larry will correct me. He's gonna be like, "How the fuck did you forget that?"
Dude,
Larry got. By the way, Larry got on my case for not remembering that the Mets traded David Cohn for Jeff Kent and
Oh,
Ryan
I was
Taylor.
getting on your case. I was listening to you guys. I'm like, come on, dude.
I got a bad memory, guys. Come on.
Oh man, dude! All I remember from those times we were in St. John's when during the tournament, because I remember we did a pool. I forgot who was running the pool. There was some dude that you knew that I got, and I ended
Oh
up
yes, at the tutoring center.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
dude, the
That's
big
right.
guy,
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. That's right.
and I ended up winning that year because I picked John Wallace and Syracuse to go all the way. They didn't win it,
Okay.
but they made it to the final, and it was enough for me to win it. So yeah,
Nice.
those are some good times. It's funny. The two times I've ever won a pool or those brackets is and
The brackets, yeah.
both times I picked Syracuse with John Wallace and Carmelo.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think the times that I've won brackets, usually it was because of Duke. That I
Mm,
picked Duke to win the whole, especially the what did we just the
the
Batty
Battier
A.
year. Yeah.
I won a pool that year because I
Mm.
picked Duke to go all the way that year. So um yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with St. John's this year. I mean, listen, Ejiofor is playing. Let me ask you about Ejiofor. I know you've seen him play. You think that guy? You think he's an NBA player? I don't know where he would fit in the NBA.
Uh, I think he could. I mean, listen, the way the NBA is right now, I think I don't want to say there's a lack of talent in the NBA.
Hmm.
I just think that there's a big split in the top tier guys, and then there's
I
the
see what you're
next
saying.
level.
Yeah, right, right, right. It's a good
So
point.
I think guys like him could definitely make the NBA. I mean, will he be an impact player? Who knows?
Yeah, I think his problem's gonna be he doesn't shoot the three well.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
like his only issue. He almost had a triple double in this game: 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. But one thing that was a really surprising for me was UConn had 15 turnovers in this game,
Mm.
and Silas Damari Jr. had 9 of them, which is insane. But
Is that to do with the balls the size of church bells?
no, was it Darling?
Rick Pitino's
The point,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. He said, bro, he says some wild shit, dude. And I think it's because he's old. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
He does not
That's
care.
what I think he is. He does
Yeah.
not care. That dude does not care anymore. One more thing about St. John's. They got the rematch in Hartford on February 25th. You want to talk about a tough place to play? That can be a tough place to play. It's not as bad as Stores, which is
Mm.
UConn's campus. But
So let me real quick. So St.
yeah,
John's. So in your opinion, St.
Yes.
John's. I mean, back in the days, it used to be the rivalry with St. John's, Georgetown. Back in the day.
Yeah, St. John's, Georgetown, yeah.
So you think now it's St. John's, UConn?
I do, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I think it's St. John's, UConn
and it
now.
used to be also St. John's, Syracuse too. Back in
Yes,
the day
yeah,
with
yeah,
Jim Boeheim and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, I mean, Syracuse is not even a Big East anymore, which
Yeah,
is stupid to me.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's now St. John's, UConn, only because of the distance, right? They're right next to each
Hmm.
other state-wise, and I think the fans, especially the UConn fans, probably make it so because they travel so well. And
Hmm.
like they hold the games at the Garden for a reason. You're never gonna see St. John's play UConn on campus. That's
Hmm.
never gonna happen. This
No.
because you're losing out on so much money by doing that,
Yeah,
bro. The
yeah.
cheapest ticket $300 to get in on Friday night.
Jeez.
you know,
How many games do
Uh,
they play? Is it still called Alumni Hall or Lou Carnesecca? Right? How many
it's
games do
Carnesecca
they?
Arena.
How
Yeah.
many games do they play there now?
So here's the thing. It's funny you say that because going into Patino's first year, they had actually made a commitment to play less games at the Garden and
Mm,
more games at Carnesecca Arena, Alumni Hall, whatever you want to call it. So when St. John started playing better as last season went on, they started moving some of the games from Carnesecca to the Garden
mm,
because they were going to make the money.
yeah.
So like this year, it's funny because I think it was Tariq Turner because he sometimes he does radio on with Minko, John Minko. Um, they were saying on the radio that they are playing, I think, their most games at the Garden this year, which is like 8 or 9. They've never played that many games at the Garden before because they usually
Mm,
try to split the Big East conference games between the Garden and Carnesecca Arena. But that's
okay.
not the case anymore because they got to make, come on, you got to make the money. And I think it's better for that because people do listen. I think these New York City people that did not go to St. John's, but that are St. John's fans, are probably going to these games because it's Patino that's coaching the team.
Mm,
I mean, to me, that's what I think is happening. They're playing well too, so I think that also helps. But listen, I think they'll get to the tournament easily. I don't
mhm.
think that's a question about that. The question's going to be how far they go, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. It'll be 2 years in a row that they have a pretty high seed. That hasn't happened in a very long time. All right, let us talk about some baseball. And I don't know about you, bro, but I'm seeing all these videos coming out of Port St. Lucie, and I'm getting
Makes
excited.
you feel good, right?
Yeah, fuck that. All this shit we were talking the whole off season out the window now. Seriously, bro. I was like looking at tickets for opening day. I'm like, it's too expensive. We'll just go on what we've usually done the past few years. We don't go to opening day, but we'll go to the Saturday game.
Mm,
The first Saturday game of the year. Hopefully it's not like 40 degrees that day. But so we thought it would be a fun idea because the Mets pod, which is on SNY, put out a all Mets team. Of course, my internet is my phone's betraying me right now. I saved it on my photos. Let me bring it up here because this was tough. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This was difficult. Now, why am I not finding the photo?
I didn't find it difficult at all. There's
Really?
only one position I was debating.
When we get into it, and I'll give you, I'll give you the like, because there were no rules here, right? I didn't have any like rules for the picks here. I got to go on the internet because for some reason, like my phone's not like for whatever reason, my phone is not picking up the signal back here, but I am recording. So that is very. Let me see. So basically, what they did was they went through and gave an all-time Mets team, and I gotta say it was a pretty good I thought effort, but I don't know about you, but I think our team is going to look a lot different than
You want me to text you a
what they had.
screenshot of it?
Let me see if I can bring it up here. This is really fucking annoying. Mets pod. Yeah, text me a screenshot of what I
Okay.
sent you.
Yeah, you got
I don't understand why this is I don't even know if I'm gonna get it because of let me see if I can just Mets pod
it. I got it over here if you want me to do it.
all time. Yeah, read out what they had across the
Okay.
board and then we'll do it. Go ahead.
Okay. So around the horn. So at first base, they had Keith Fernandez. Second
Mhm.
base, Edgardo Alfonso. Third base, shortstop, Lindor. Third base, David Wright. Right field, Strawberry. Center field, Beltran. Left field, Soto. As their pitcher was Tom Seaver. Their catcher was Piazza. DH, Alonso.
Mhm.
Closer, John Franco. And their pinch hitter was Lenny Harris.
Yeah. So, let's start with left field. We'll go left to right
Okay.
and then we're going to the infield. Yeah, here it just came across right now. I did so the way I did this, it was a combination of basically time and place. So what I mean by that is because of the time of these players and I guess my fandom at the time
Mhm.
versus and the other consideration I did was also talent. So my guys are going to be a lot different than list list. So, and I'll give
My
we can give reasons too for why we picked the guys that we did.
Yeah, the
So
only rule I had is I had to see this guy play. So Tom Seaver
that's
didn't
my
make.
other yes. That
Yeah.
was my other yes. I agree. The other thing was I had to see the guy play. Yes, I agree. Okay, let's um let's go to left field first. Who do you have?
I actually got Soto in left field. I did put
Okay,
him.
so you did what they did. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay,
You want me to keep going?
no, I'll go with my left fielder.
Okay, go ahead.
My left
Yeah.
fielder. You gonna say something? Oh,
No, I was just like
okay,
you talking
okay.
about talent and stuff like that. I mean, who's more talented than Juan Soto?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Because Soto is on my team, but I have him in in right field. Spoiler alert: I didn't pick Strawberry. I'll get it. We'll get into it. Uh, my left field is Kevin McReynolds
I could see that.
because of, and here's the reason why. A lot of we obviously saw him play, and I think this was at a time. I remember when they signed him. Right, I think it was 88, if I'm not mistaken, 87,
Yeah.
88.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I was really at that age paying attention to like that aspect of baseball, like free agent signings and things like that. Because I remember
Mhm.
it being a big deal when they signed him. And you know what? Say what you want. I know he gets a lot of shit because he might not have been like the most outgoing type of player, but he was pretty good.
Mhm.
He wasn't bad. And I think about like all the left fielders that the Mets have had over the years since I've been watching, and I considered Nimmo. I really did. Um, I would say he's the guy that stood out the most in my mind. I thought about Bernard Gilkey as well because Gilkey
I
had
thought
some
about him too. Yeah.
decent years when he was here. The teams
Mhm.
were shitty.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but Gilkey was another guy that came to mind during for that left field spot. So,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I went with Mr. McReynolds.
I remember
So,
that year. Me and you went to a bunch of games. That was Gilkey and Lance Johnson
Lance
at
Johnson in
center.
center field. Yep,
I remember
yep.
I got Lance Johnson's autograph on a baseball, one dog. So yeah, that's
That's
good
right.
time.
I remember that. Right, I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
remember that.
yep. All right.
All right, what do you got for
So
center field?
center field, it has to be Beltran. I mean, you could make the case for Mookie Wilson. you can make the case for Lenny Dykstra, but
Hmm.
I mean, it has to be Beltran. The guy just, he's one of those guys, like you mentioned a little bit with Kevin McReynolds, but this is like on another level because the dude's a Hall of Famer. He
Yeah,
was, he was a lot of people for whatever reason, and I guess maybe it's that, Adam Wainwright
they call
strikeout.
third strike. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they don't give him the respect that he did. But I specifically remember the first year the Mets signed him getting into an argument in upper deck with another Mets fan because
That's
in 2000,
hilarious.
because 2000, the first year Beltran did not have a good year.
Oh, he was awful. Yeah.
But I remember that specific game that I was at. He robbed a home run. He made a great play. Rob went over the fence and robbed a home run. The next
Hmm.
inning, he came to that bat and he grounded out. And the guy's like, "Oh, this guy's a bum. We signed him." I was like, "Dude, he pretty much just robbed a 3-run homer over here." And I'm getting into an argument with a drunk dude. I'll never forget that idiot. But yeah,
That's
he's one of those
hilarious.
underappreciated Mets. Hopefully now, him being in the Hall of Fame, people can see how good we had it at center field for all those years.
Yeah, I have Beltran in center field as well. And again, you you said it. Could have been Mookie Wilson. I thought about Wilson. I thought about Dykstra. I mean, those are guys are honorable mentions, I guess. I guess for this, but I don't think people. It's the same thing, like you said. You have to appreciate like what he did now, especially him being in the Hall of Fame. And I mean, the one of the you want to mess around the best highlight, the worst highlights him striking out, looking against Rainwright. But bro, when he caught the ball in Houston up the hill.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that always gonna stick out of my mind because the guy could have fucking broken his damn ankle
Mhm.
doing that. So he had a lot of big home runs for them, and he played
Oh yeah.
great. He played great defense in center field. So you know, yeah, can't. I mean, he's gonna get his number retired this year, probably. You have to do it now because he's going to the Hall of Fame. So
Mhm.
that's definitely going to be on the docket for this year. So yeah, I'll take Beltran in center field as well.
You remember that
You're right
collision?
fielder. Yeah.
That you remember
Oh
that
yeah, Mike
collision he had
Cameron.
with Mike Cameron? Holy crap!
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. In
that
San
was crazy.
Diego. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
dude.
Um,
Woof. Bad.
so my right fielder, I mean, who else is but Strawberry? That dude. You want to talk about a guy that should have been a Hall of Famer a long time ago if he didn't, like the white powder so much. But um, I'm glad he turned his life around now and he's doing well. But man, you want to talk about a guy that should have been a Hall of Famer? Um, I thought about right field and I'm like, who else
It's
is? I mean,
tough.
you can say Soto, but I'll put Soto at
Yeah.
left and put Strawberry in right. So I
Yeah.
couldn't think of anybody
Yeah.
else in right field.
I can't even. So I got Soto in right field, but I can't. And obviously Strawberry. Listen. It's hard to pick against Strawberry for me because of what he meant to the Mets in the '80s. But he did leave for the greener pastures of
Mm.
LA.
Which
So
he
I
regrets all the
will.
day.
Yeah, he says that all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just going back to Soto, dude. I was thinking about this earlier today because we know I was unemployed last year. I was unemployed during the baseball season, which meant I saw just about every game last year. Like just about every because what the fuck else was I gonna do? I saw just about every game. So I knew that team very intimately, the ins and outs of that team, the good and the bad. And this was really the first time watching Soto as an everyday player. And I'm sure Larry can attest to this because he was covering them when Soto was on the Yankees for that year. I don't think I've ever. He knows the strike zone better than the umpires.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's insane how much better he knows the strike zone than any player I've ever seen that I've watched day to day.
Mhm.
And I know guys like Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs, they're very known for, being able to work the strike zone. But I didn't see those guys play every day. I saw Soto play every day last year. That guy is on another level that he's being underpaid now when you think about it.
Mm.
In some ways, with all these fucking salaries that are being given up by now. But yeah, he's my right fielder for the obvious reasons. Let's go to first base.
All right. My first base, I mean, sorry, it's not Pete Alonso. It's Kiefer.
It's not.
It's
Yeah, it's not.
it's
Yeah.
Keith Hernandez. It has to be Keith Hernandez. I
Same.
mean,
Mine is Keith Hernandez too. Yeah.
you want to talk about, co-captain of the '80s team, a grinder, a dude that bats 300, waking up out of his sleep. That he was
Right.
Gold Glover galore. I got his Gold Glove bobblehead right here. So yeah, he's my first baseman all day, every day.
How many Gold Gloves did he win?
I think he
Gold
won like 11,
Gloves.
and all of them were in a
He
row too.
right. And I mean, listen, guys, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not just. He's got. If you look at some of his overall numbers are better than guys in the Hall of Fame. I'll just leave it at that. That's
Him,
all I'm gonna
Matt
say.
Mattingly should be in the Hall of
And
Fame too.
Mattingly, yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah. I mean, I'll never forget that I was at a game. One of the few memories I have of '86. I don't remember a lot about '86. I was very young, but I was at a game in '86 that they gave him his Gold Glove before the game.
Mm,
They gave him the award that he won from '85, and because it was against the Houston Nationals. I'll never forget.
yeah.
And he made Keith Hernandez. It's in the fucking '86 video thing when he makes that tumbling, diving play down the right field line where he kind of like tumbles over and then those are the
Yeah.
first. I was at that game.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like shit like that. We see the highlights from that '86 video with him playing when he was playing first base and Carter was playing third because
Third.
DeRay
Yep.
Knight got thrown out during the fight with the Reds, and they made that double play where Keith was right on top of the fucking plate,
Hmm.
got the ball on a bounce, throws it to third to Carter, and then Carter throws it back to first to get the double play. Like he was doing shit that people were not doing back then.
No.
So, plus the hitting and all that other stuff, and kind of became a minor celebrity in New York, Seinfeld, and all this other shit. So, he's the first baseman. That's not even a question.
Yep.
Sorry, Pete. Okay, second base.
My second baseman is one of my favorite Mets of all time, and he's up here, Edgardo Alfonso.
Yep, he's my
That's
second baseman too.
that dude. You want to talk about a steady guy? You you put him at third, he's good. You put him at second, he's
Hmm.
good. So a clutch hitter. I'll never forget. I remember staying up mad late when they were playing the Diamondbacks in the playoffs.
Right? Yeah, I was thinking about that today too. Yeah.
Bro, I'll never. I remember that because I think it was around midterms, and I failed a couple of midterms
Yeah.
because I was up
Oh damn.
watching these Met games, bro. I'm telling you, and that home run that he hit to win the game. That dude, you want to talk about clutch? And solid player. That's my second baseman.
Do you remember the 6-for-6 game in Houston?
Oh yeah,
That's one that sticks out for a lot
oh
of us
yeah,
Mets fans.
yep,
Yeah, bro. I mean, he played great defense. He was part of they called it the greatest infield defense of all time with
yep.
Olerud and Alonso and Ordonez and Ventura at third base. Um, the one thing I always wonder about is how come because remember at some point he was coaching in the
Minor
system with his
leagues.
brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with Edgar. Yeah, I know. Very, very creative. Edgar and Algardo. But yeah, I don't. Nothing ever really. You don't really see him around the Mets, which I think is interesting
I think
because.
he was in the spring training instructor a couple years ago. I think he was.
Oh, was he okay?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'd like to see him around a little bit more. Okay.
Funny thing about Edgardo Alfonso.
Yes.
You're gonna laugh when you hear this story. So my wife at the time, she was still my girlfriend. Um, at the Sears in Queens Plaza, my wife is there
Okay.
buying, I don't know, a refrigerator, whatever the hell she was buying, and she ran into Edgardo Alfonso, and
Oh, really?
Edgardo Alfonso was trying to pick up my wife, bro.
Did she know it was Algardo Alfonso?
She knew, yeah, because
Okay,
she would
she
go to
knew.
Mets games
Okay,
with me and stuff like that. It's like I was like,
gotcha.
did you get some tickets at least? So I think she also, because my wife, she would she used to work, she had two jobs. One of the jobs she had was she's a student aide at an elementary school in Corona, which the Mets
Okay,
used to go to. The Mets used to go to and read to the
that
kids
makes
and things like
sense. Is
that.
it right there? Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think she ran God Alfonso ran into her there too. So
That's hilarious. Holy shit. That's good. That's a good story. Let's jump over to third base.
third base has got to be David Wright. I mean, I thought about putting Hojo, because
Oh,
Hojo,
you know who I put.
yeah, I know. I really thought about putting Hojo in this one because Hojo was one of my favorite players too growing up. I mean, the one of the first guys to ever do the 30-30, and he did it three times, which is weird because he
Yeah.
did it in odd years, so 87, 89, 91. He
Oh,
never did it in
interesting.
back-to-back years. But
Hmm.
yeah, Hojo, I really thought about it, but I'm gonna put David Wright on this list.
Yeah, I mean, Hojo's my guy at third.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know. Like Howard Johnson is my favorite Met of all time. Like there's not a fucking question. I used to play third base because of him. I used to wear number 20 because of him. I still use the number 20 in ways that I will not reveal. Passwords. Now I gotta change it. But no, seriously, like, bro, I mean, he's always gonna be my guy. I actually got a chance to interview him when I was a
Nice.
sports writer, and yeah, I mean, I didn't mark out or anything like that. I wasn't like, oh, I used to be a I was professional. Uh, but I interviewed him because he used to be the hitting coach for the Binghamton Mets, which is the Double
Mhm.
A affiliate of still to this day. Um, so when they came through, I was doing a story about just about like the art of the stolen base, and obviously, he was a great guy to talk to because of because of what he did. The thing was, is I think at that time, this was when the stolen base was starting to go a little bit like out of vogue. Like
Mhm.
there was rumblings of people were even in the minors, they weren't stealing as much as they used to. So I did like this whole big like story on it. I spoke to Hojo when he was in town. It was, bro, he gave me like 20 minutes, and going into like how his technique and you know why he decided to steal as many bases as he did back then, and what they taught the kids in the minor league and stuff like that. So that was really I'll never forget that interaction that I had with him. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was he was the man for me for a very long time.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I was you're almost convincing me to put Hojo because he was one of my guys too, man. He was
Yeah, yeah,
for those years that the Mets sucked, he was our one guiding light. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. He was. Yeah, he
So
definitely
it was
was.
he was, and again, I grew up playing third base too. So he was good. Screw that. I'm putting Hojo on it. On my team. I'm taking it out there. I was like 50-50 thinking about it.
It's hard, bro. Because I was thinking too. It's like I love David Wright.
Yeah.
He is. Obviously for a lot of us, he was our favorite player during that era that he was there, and his career got cut short because of the injury, and you think that maybe he might have been a Hall of Famer if he would have kept on playing. It's borderline. There's always been that discussion about it, but it's just Hojo was just again time and place. Young kid
Hmm.
growing up,
Yeah.
loving playing third base. That's kind of why.
Yeah.
Shortstop.
My shortstop, sorry, Lindor. My shortstop is Jose Reyes. that's
Oh,
that's
you went with Reyes. Okay,
I went with Reyes on this one, man.
gotcha.
The energy that he brought to the team, lead off, getting on base, stealing all those bases. I'll never forget. I remember when they were debating on their contracts were coming up. It was David Wright and Jose Reyes. Like, who are they going to sign? Because they could freaking Wilpons are so cheap, they didn't want to sign both of them.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was team Jose Reyes because at that time I was like, what he brings to the table is something unique. At
Yep.
that time, there were so many good third basemen. I believe we could have replaced David Wright with another guy.
Mhm.
But you've seen since we got rid of Jose Reyes, We haven't gotten anybody else until we got Lindor. So that
Right.
left
Yeah.
a big hole
Yeah.
in our lineup. So my guy is Jose Reyes.
I'm gonna do you one better. I went with Ray Ordonez, baby.
Oh man.
Had to do it, bro. I had to do it. I was thinking about this because I had the same mindset as you. I was thinking, okay, it's one of three guys. It's either Ordonez, it's Reyes, or it's Lindor.
Mm,
And I think the reason why I went with Reyes is because when he came up, bro, I don't think people understand that don't live in New York City. When this guy came up, there was so much hype around him from his defense alone
hmm
because they were comparing him to like Ozzie Smith, but
Yeah.
like he was supposed to be like a modern day Ozzie Smith, and he was doing shit that you're not supposed to be teaching. With the
Yeah.
way he slits his knee to
hmm
get the backhand. Like that was like a no
Yeah.
when we were growing up to do stuff like that. So he did everything with flash, and I don't know if you remember. I think it was that opening day for him that first year when he threw the guy
Against the
out on the play
Cardinals.
on the cutoff.
Ray
Yeah, from
Langford.
his
Yeah.
yeah right yeah from his knees, and that basically like set the tone. Guys, he did go search for Ray Ordonez highlights. That guy did some shit at shortstop that I've never seen before.
Yeah. It was insane.
Uh it was like he was really in some ways a modern day Ozzie Smith. He just didn't stay healthy, you
hmm
know? And he
Yeah.
couldn't hit for shit.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That
And
was the problem.
it was also, I mean, and it's funny how you talk about timing. Ray Ordonez
Yeah.
in the 80s would have been the man
Oh
because
yeah.
back
Yeah.
then you didn't expect your shortstop to hit a lot. You just wanted to catch the
Right.
ball,
Yeah.
i.e.,
Yeah.
Ozzie Smith.
Right.
But
Exactly.
you put him in a generation where Derek Jeter was coming up,
Yep.
A Rod was coming up,
Yep.
Nomar
Cal Ripken
Garcia
was already
Para,
there. Yeah.
Kyle
Nomar.
Ripken.
Yep.
So all of those guys were like 25 and up home run hitters. And then you got
Yeah.
Ray Ordonez that'll give you one, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and bat 230. It's one thing if he batted at least close to 300.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. Different
but
story. Yeah.
I think I think Ray Ordonez grew up in the wrong decade. If he would have
I
been in
agree.
the 80s, he would have been forget about it, superstar.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was, bad timing on I mean, it's not his fault,
Yeah.
You can't fucking help when you're bored. But yeah, it's interesting. I saw him once at LaGuardia. It was very weird because I was wearing a Mets jersey. This is after he retired. And he actually was coming out of I don't know if you remember when LaGuardia was like really fucked when when they were doing the construction. It was like
Mm,
bad. So I went to go to the gate. I was eating with my girlfriend at the time. I was eating, and I went to go check the gate to make sure that it was still the same gate or whatnot. And I'm walking back, and he walks out of off a plane.
mm.
So I'm looking. I was like, that's Ray Ordonez? And I'm wearing a Mets jersey for whatever reason. So I look at him, and he looks at me, and I kind of like went like this, and he went like, because I didn't want to make a big deal. I didn't want
Yeah.
to draw any attention to it or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
he knew he wasn't stupid. Okay, we know who you can put in for catcher.
Spoiler alert. My
Jerry
catch.
Grody.
Yeah, okay. Charlie O'Brien. No.
Yeah. Damn, I've heard that name in a Mackie Sasser.
Mackie Sassel. Oh my God. Yeah. No,
Oh God.
my catcher is Gary Carter, the kid. Kid was my guy growing up. It's the reason why I wore number 8. It's the reason. I mean, when Will comes in July, he will see my shrine to Gary Carter
Oh, I
downstairs.
can't wait. Yeah, we're gonna post that on the
Yeah,
Instagram.
we'll post it. We'll post it, no doubt. But yeah, he was a guy. So I remember I loved him growing up. That's the reason I wore number 8 in high school.
Mhm.
Similar to Will, I have a lot of 8s all over the place. So I'm not going to divulge where I use 8. Um, um, but yeah, and speaking of 8, so there's a guy on Instagram that he does like cool art, and I saw he did like a an art piece for another Mets fan, and it was a Gary Carter 8.
Oh,
So
nice.
I immediately contacted this guy,
Of
and
course you did. Of course
I'm
you
working
did.
on something with him.
Oh, damn. Is
But
he gonna be
yeah,
ready when we get down there in July or no?
it might be. It might be. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, so he was always my guy. The grittiness. Some people give him shit because he smiled all the time, and I was like, listen, the dude was a gamer. He's an all star when he came to the Mets. He was that trade was the one that put the Mets over the top. Him
Yeah.
and Keefe as co-captains were great, and just what people don't talk about. People always talk about Gary Carter's offense, and he was one of the best offensive catchers ever. But his defense and his the way he called a game is what people talk about. Like Doc Gooden talks about it all the time.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Ron Darling talks about it all the time. So he had one of the best arms as a catcher. So he's definitely my catcher. Oh, and another quick story. So I had the fortunate of seeing Gary Carter a few years before he passed. So
Mhm.
I got to see him. So the year he made the Hall of Fame, and I have a picture of
Okay.
this somewhere in here. I remember he was doing a autograph signing at the Steiner store in where was that shit? In somewhere in Long Island, where that mall in Long
Okay.
Island. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roosevelt Field Mall?
Green Acres. Green Acres Mall.
Green Acres. Okay, yep, Green
No,
Acres,
no,
yep.
wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's Roosevelt Field. Roosevelt Field.
Roosevelt, okay.
Yeah. So I remember I paid extra to be the
Mhm.
first dude online, and I got there super early.
Nice.
I got there mad early, and I have the autograph. I have a lot of Gary Carter memorabilia, but the two things that I cherish the most is the picture that he signed for me and the ball
Yeah,
that he signed for me. And I
nice.
remember, bro, I was so nervous. I think my wife, I think my wife recorded me, bro. I was so nervous. The only question I got out was, "Are the Mets ever going to retire your number?" That's what I told him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he said, "I hope so one day." And we're still
yeah.
here waiting for it. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough
yeah,
one.
yeah. That's my guy, Gary Carter.
It's funny, like, he is one of the few players that the Mets have had that had a huge impact on 2 different franchises. Obviously, with the Expos,
Mhm.
and the Mets. I don't there haven't been many. You could maybe say Piazza with LA and the Mets, but there really haven't been a lot of guys like him over the years that has such a huge impact on both on 2 franchises like that. And
Mm.
he's one of those guys. It's funny because I didn't fucking know he played for another team. Because I wasn't paying attention to that stuff back
Yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't until I was later and you look at the back of the baseball card and be like, oh, he wasn't always with the Mets. He came from
Mhm.
someplace else. Um, so this was I gotta admit this was a tough one because the 3 people I had in mind were Piazza, uh, Carter, and Todd Hundley.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people realize like Todd Hundley, he had the record for most home runs by a catcher that one year. He had 41.
Mhm.
So this was a very difficult because bro. I love Todd Hundley.
Yeah, me too.
I was a huge Todd Hundley fan back in the day, but I went with Piazza. I mean, I kind of had to listen. I don't know. If people know the story. I don't. I can't remember if we told the story in the podcast, but you and I went to his first game was a Met.
Yeah.
Remember, he got traded. The Mets made the trade on a Friday, and Eric and I went the Saturday to go watch them play. I forget who they. Do you remember who they were playing
The
that
Brewers.
game? The Brewers.
It's when the Brewers were
And
still in the National League.
right, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, when they
Well,
were
it's American
when they
League,
just
and
came into the National
yeah,
League.
it
Sorry.
just came into the National League, right? I just remember the walk up sales for that day must have been crazy
Mhm.
because this is back in the day when you can actually like buy a physical ticket, like walk up to the booth and get a physical ticket. But dude, there was so much pressure on that man in that first game. Like you thought he was gonna hit like 3 home runs in that game. That's what people wanted.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's my catcher. Let's go to starting pitcher.
So this could be a lot of people. Starting pitch. I mean,
I know, it's hard. It was hard.
you could say Doc. And again, we're not saying Seaver because we never saw him play,
Yeah,
but
right.
Doc, you could say Doc Gooden, you could say DeGrom, you could say
Mhm.
Johan, um, Al Leiter, maybe you could put in there.
Yeah. So
But
many guys.
I'm gonna go with Doc. I'm gonna go with Doc just because
Okay.
he was dominating, bro. Dominating when he came up. I'll never forget. I remember seeing highlights. So he came up in '84, and I was too young, but I see that after the fact where Gary Carter caught him in the All Star game in '84.
Right.
And Gary
Yes.
Carter was talking about how cool would this be if we would do this more often? And then the following year, he gets
Mm,
traded to the Mets, and then
nice.
and then they do that combination. I'll never, bro. I remember driving with my father because my father was a truck driver in the '80s, '70s, and '80s. But I remember the mural that they had of Doc Gooden in Manhattan.
That's right. Yes, it was a Nike thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it was a painting that was on the side of a building, and it was a
Mhm.
huge painting. I remember passing by that almost every day because my father used that was like the route that my father used to do, and I would
Right.
pass by that every day. Doc Gooden, for people that weren't alive during this time, that dude was him and Strawberry. They kind of
Mhm.
owned New York City back then.
They did.
So
Yeah.
yeah, my guy is Doc Gooden.
Yeah, listen, I can't argue that. I didn't go with Doc, only because I not that it's an obvious choice, but it's a he's one of the guys that you would pick. Um, I went with the Grom
Mhm.
only because he has such a huge impact during the time that he was here. God, remember when he made his debut against the Yankees and nobody really thought anything of it because it was like a spot start,
Yeah.
basically. And look what he ended up doing when he was with the Mets.
And when he came up, there was no hype because all the
None
hype
whatsoever.
all the hype was on the other kid, and I can't remember his name, the Dominican pitcher that they had. Um,
Oh God, I know who you're talking about.
that they
Yes, I
ended
know
up
who you're talking
he
about.
ended up being a reliever and a pretty decent reliever.
Yes,
I can't remember
yes,
his name,
yes,
but
yes.
all the hype was on him. Like they thought he
Yeah,
was gonna be like the next Pedro or whatever, and obviously that didn't work
right.
out.
Yes, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it's a shame that him and Syndergaard and Harvey didn't really like pan out the way everybody had hoped for. But listen, he did get them to the 2015 World Series. I have to say, I thought I was not too upset when he left, only because of the injury history. I
Mhm.
mean, how many times did and it seems like he's gotten past that. Knock on wood for him, because I don't wish him any ill will, but how many times did it happen where he was just breaking down all the time?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But like for a short period, listen, his name came up in trade talks last year
Mhm.
because the Texans were thinking about getting rid of him, and people were like, "Bring him back to the Mets, bring him back to the Mets." That would have not been a terrible idea, all things considering. When you look at that pitching staff back last year, so sir, you're DH since that is a new thing now.
My DH is Mike Piazza.
Okay, so you put Piazza at
Oh,
DH. Okay,
absolutely.
got it.
Piazza is one of my all-time favorite Mets. Um, but I just thought, as good as a offensive player he can't compare to Gary Carter's defense. So that's why I put
Right.
Carter on as a catcher. Yeah, Mike Piazza. What could you say? I mean, another Hall of Famer, a guy elevated the Mets in that 2000. Um, I was at the 9/11 game. I actually called that. I remember I was sitting the first row in upper deck. It was
Hmm.
the first game me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, ever went to. I took it to that game with two other people that I knew.
What a game to go to! Jesus
Yeah, yeah, we
Christ!
went to the 9/11 game because we started dating. We started dating like 3 weeks before 9/11. That's when we started
Damn!
dating. Yeah, and
Wow.
then and
Okay.
then the whole thing happened. But yeah, I remember specifically watching Carsey warming up for the Braves. And
Hmm.
for some reason, I just got a feeling like Piazza's going to hit a home run here. And I told everybody in my section, I was like, Piazza's going to hit a home run here. And because
Nice.
I just because Carsey was just throwing peppering fastball after fastball while he was warming up. I just had that feeling. And
Yeah.
obviously he hit that home run. Everybody mobbed me because I called it. Um, but yeah, that's one of I think I still got the ticket stub somewhere. That was a memory that I'll never forget. So yeah, he's got to make my team as a DH.
So my DH is Alonzo.
Okay.
I feel like if I wasn't going to put him at first base, I had to put him at least as the DH. Listen, there's nothing more I can say about him. I don't. I'm still frustrated about what happened. It is what it is. He gave the Mets great years here. Listen, he holds the fucking home run record for the team. That's not going away anytime soon. Soto will probably break it if Soto sticks around the whole time. But it is what it is. He's in Baltimore. God bless him. And let's move on. I guess we're still missing the reliever, the closer, and the
Closer,
pinch hitter, though, right?
pinch hitter. You want to add another one? You want to add a utility player?
Yeah,
Because
we
I
can
have
do
someone
that.
in mind. Okay.
Okay, let's go with the closer.
So I mean, come on, it's Edwin Diaz.
Yeah,
it's
I picked him too. Yeah.
yeah. Listen, it's not Jerry's Familia. It's not Armando Benitez. It's not Braden Looper, bro. All respect to John Franco, Lafayette graduate.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Edwin Diaz on this one.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, it's got to be Diaz. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, man. It's just again, like Eric said, we all three of us went to the same high school. We all went to St. John's.
I mean,
Like
he was our first base coach.
right,
He practiced with
right,
us,
yeah,
Franco. Yeah,
right. We love John Franco, but let's be real. He's nothing compared to Edwin Diaz. Respectfully,
respectfully.
um, yeah, your pinch hitter.
So this is the one that I kind of I don't want to say struggled with, but I thought about the most. And
Really?
yeah,
Okay,
now that we're going with a utility guy, I'll put one of the thoughts in the utility spot. But
gotcha.
I mean, you could think they picked Lenny Harris, which Lenny Harris is pretty damn good as a pitch hitter.
Yeah, he's not my pick though. Let's
He's
see
not
if
my
we got
pick.
the same
He's not my
guy.
pick. My pick is Matt Franco.
Yep, same. Can you not pick Matt Franco?
You gotta pick Matt Franco. Franco had some big hits. The Mariano game, obviously
Right.
during
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
That I was
it's
at your house for. Yeah.
you was I don't even remember that shit.
Yeah. I was there for that. I
Yeah,
was there for that.
yeah, Matt Franco has to make the team.
Listen. We know. Here's the problem. Not a problem. Lenny Harris was an all-time great pinch hitter.
Mhm.
Matt Franco was an all-time great Mets pinch hitter.
Exactly.
That's the difference, I think, in my mind. And what was that one year? I think he had like 15 pinch hits. It was like
Hmm.
almost close to a record, if I'm not mistaken. It almost seemed like every time that dude came up in that situation that he was going to get a hit.
Hmm.
It was fucking insane. So yeah, Matt Franco's my guy. No disrespect to Lenny Harris, but Matt Franco's my dude. So anyway, your utility guy.
So my utility guy, like I said, I thought about him as the pinch hitter because he was a pretty decent pinch hitter. But my
Yeah.
utility guy is Super Joe McEwing.
Oh yeah.
Super
That's a
Joe. I
good
mean,
one.
he could play left field. He could play shortstop. He could play second. I think he played center field a couple times. He owned Randy Johnson for some reason.
Right, that's right. I remember
he,
that.
he used
I
to kill
remember
Randy
that.
Johnson. Randy Johnson had no answer for him. So yeah, I would say Joe McEwen would be my utility guy.
I'm trying to think since we're doing this on a fly, who my utility guy would be. Oh boy, man, I don't. I could even like think of a person that played a lot of different
There's a
positions.
couple. Desi Relaford.
Maybe, yeah, Desi Rutherford. Also, who also comes to mind for the outfield is Timo Perez
Timo
because
Perez. Yeah.
he played all over the outfield. Desi Rutherford, my God, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Um, Fuck it. I'll just go with McEwing. Make it easy.
Yeah,
Because I mean, think about it. Who else could you really go with?
Marlon Anderson was pretty good too.
Oh,
Remember
that's
him?
true.
Yeah.
He was a good one. Remember they thought he was doing steroids that year, that particular year he's with the
Yeah,
Mets? Was it
yeah.
that year or the following year? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think I
Um,
do remember hearing that though.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, that was fun.
All right,
That's
put
been
up
a
a poll.
while.
Let's see
Holy
which team
shit.
is better.
Yeah, yeah, I should do that. I should definitely do that. All right, let's do our Mount Rushmore. This is gonna be a fun one. You have to be a real fucking nerd for this one because we're doing our Mount Rushmore. This was actually hard for me. We're doing our Mount Rushmore of jobbers, also known as enhancement talent in the pro wrestling, because we don't like to call them jobbers anymore. But my number one guy was easy because I think it's he might be your number one guy as well. But the other three were a little bit difficult. But once I started to jog my memory with some of these guys, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, those are some good choices. Um, how about you go first with your number four
Okay,
jobber?
gotcha. I got a shit ton of honorable mentions, but we could talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So my number four, and some people may not remember this guy, but I sure do because he used to lose a lot of matches on Saturday mornings. His
Saturday morning.
Special Delivery Jones, SD Jones.
Oh yes, yep.
SD
He's
Jones,
up there, bro.
he would lose. It was at a point that me and my brother would just laugh every time he would come up on the screen because he's about to get smashed by some bad guy, or
Right.
it's going to be a squash match. It's going to last
Yeah.
maybe 2 minutes and it's over. SD Special Delivery Jones is my number four.
Bro, don't forget he lost to King Kong Bundy 9 seconds at WrestleMania 1.
Yep, that is right. That is correct.
Avalanche in the corner, done. Dead.
Yep.
So that was it.
Hey,
So
you never.
my
At least that jobber made it to WrestleMania for 9 seconds.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Exactly. My number four, and this is kind of like a comedy one. It's Gilbert.
I knew it.
For those who remember, back when WWF and WCW were going head to head, and when Goldberg was like all the rage, they WWE would often make fun of these characters in that were in WCW in WWF. So they came up with this Gilbert character.
Dwayne Gill.
Dwayne Gill, yeah, he was like a riff off of Goldberg, and he would come out with like they would show show like sparklers,
Yeah.
and it would like he would burn himself or like choke on the smoke, and he got his ass kicked every single fucking time, bro. It was hilarious.
Oh
Holy
man.
shit, what a time that was. So yes, I will go with Mr. Gilbert at my number four.
So my number
Your
three
number
is
three, yes.
my number three is another guy that you saw every Saturday morning. Um, he was a big dude and he yelled and screamed a lot, but he was garbage. And it was Iron Mike Sharp.
I knew yeah. When you was talking about him yelling and screaming a lot, that was yeah.
Guys, if you ever seen Iron Mike Sharp, he was a big brawly dude, had so much back and chest hair. He had the reason they call him Iron is because he had a wristband where he was sneaking like a piece of iron to try to knock his opponents out, but he never
Right,
knocked any of
yeah.
his opponents out.
Right,
But
yeah.
the crazy part with Iron Mike Sharp is during his heyday when he was younger, he was a pretty badass dude, from what I was told.
Yeah,
Growing up
I've
in
heard the
Canada and
same.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number three, Iron Mike Sharp.
Yeah, God, it's those Saturday mornings, man. That was like Jobber City,
Oh man,
WWF superstars. You guys know what I'm talking about. Because that was like we all watched that. Well,
it
you
was
never
that.
saw yeah, go
It
ahead.
was that, and then it was Glow Wrestling. It
Right,
was
Glow,
yeah,
right. I remember watching because like the big names never wrestled on WWF
never.
superstars. Never.
Hulk Hogan was never there.
Yeah,
Maybe once. as an interview
Yeah,
or something.
it's an interview, yeah, but you never it was always like, I don't even fucking know. Don Baracco versus one of these fucking jobbers who
Yeah.
was on WWF Superstars. Anyway, my number 3, he's kind of a more current guy in some ways, but he kind of became like a meme in some ways. But he actually got some popularity as well, and that's Mr. James Ellsworth.
Oh
Remember
man,
that dude?
Chintz McMahon.
Dude had no chin. Guys, go to the internet right now and do a search for James Ellsworth. He is one of the most weirdest looking motherfuckers you'll ever see. Like, and I mean that respectfully.
Oh man,
Um, but this guy was, it was like it was kind of more in the 2010s
yeah,
that he kind of like made a name for himself as like, the guy that got his ass beat almost on a weekly basis. But the thing was, he got popular,
yeah.
which is the weird thing. And they ended up having to do something with him. I forget what they did exactly with him, but he did get more
They did
popular.
some weird stuff. I think for a
Yeah.
while there, like I think they made him fall in love with Carmella, so Carmella used to like drag him around.
That's right. That's
And
right.
and then when they used to have like the Raw versus SmackDown, he was like SmackDown's mascot.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that promo that Jericho did on him. That's freaking hilarious, bro.
Oh, I don't even
So
remember that one.
I'll send it to you. So it's Team SmackDown talking to Team Raw, and then it's like AJ Styles is on one side, Dean Ambrose.
Oh, yes, I remember this now. Yes,
So
yes,
that
yes,
Jericho,
yes.
when he had his list, when he was doing the list, oh man, bro, that's the most one of the hilarious promos ever.
That's hilarious. Holy shit.
uh,
God, that's good. Who's your number 2?
my number 2, another major jobber, Barry Horowitz.
He's my number 2 as well. He's probably one of the most well-known
Yeah,
name ones, I think.
yeah. One of those guys that so for you to be an enhancement talent slash jobber, number one, you have to be really good at what you do. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
have number one, you have to be safe. You don't want to hurt the major talent.
Yeah.
And so Barry Horowitz was that guy. And I remember at one point he got a little bit of a semi push. I
Right.
remember
Yes, I
I
remember
forgot who
that.
who
Yeah.
he used to feud with, but yeah, Barry Horowitz is the prototypical enhancement talent jobber. There's only one guy ahead of him that I'm thinking about, and I'll let you guys know in a minute.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about Barry Horowitz, but it's just kind of, I guess maybe the one thing I will say, it's just kind of funny. Again, like Eric said, when you're an enhancement talent, you're supposed to make the other guy look good. There's a reason
Hmm.
why that they use these guys. But the thing is like before these guys went to WWF, they were like big names in the old territory system. So
Hmm.
it's not like these guys didn't know how to wrestle. It's just that they were in WWF at the time for a simple reason. That was to make the other guy look like $1 million. So,
Yep. Yep.
um, okay. I mean, our number ones have to be the same. Have to be the same. Go ahead.
So my number one, at first you knew him as Steve Lombardi,
There we
but
go.
but then he turned into the Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brooklyn Brawler, baby. The ultimate jobber.
The
Holy
ultimate.
shit.
That dude again, Saturday morning staple. Every day he's catching a beat down by somebody. And it's funny because you remember a few years ago when The Rock did that Young Rock show? I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. I never saw it, but I remember. Yeah. I
So
remember
in
that.
that show, he gives credit to Steve Lombardi because I think Steve Lombardi was his first match ever. It was like a dark match that he
I'm not
had
surprised.
in
Yeah.
WWF, and he credits Brooklyn Brawler because Brooklyn Brawler, talked him through the whole match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
stuff that Brawler, like you said, you have to be good at what you do, and Brooklyn Brawler to me was the number one enhancement jobber.
Dude, he was old. I don't. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember. Remember when my mom used to get the tickets from the post office and we would go to the Garden house shows a lot of time?
Yeah, yeah,
Brooklyn Brawler was almost always on those shows.
yeah, all the time.
like almost all the dude. That guy wrestled Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, The Rock, whatever major guy from back then in that time, that dude fucking wrestled. Like I didn't even
Mhm.
remember they had like the fake he won the title thing off of Shawn Michaels at a house show, and then the call got reversed just to get the pop of him winning
Yeah.
like the title at a house show. Um, what did it, what is, isn't that the Dusty thing, right? When you the guy wins the title,
Mhm.
but then they reverse the decision. I think that's
Yes, yes,
the Dusty finish. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Um, but they did that once with him and Shawn Michaels at one of these garden because I was there. I saw it at one of these garden house shows. So, yeah, dude, that guy with the fucking ripped shirt and the
Yeah.
taxi cab hat, bro,
Yeah.
looking like dirty and all that.
Bro,
Oh my
I
god.
remember when they first made him the Brooklyn Brawler, and actually Bobby Heenan was his manager, and he feuded against Terry Taylor, Red Rooster, and
Oh god.
but talk about another semi jobber. But
Yeah. Yes, he was.
but
Yeah.
that's a perfect example of Terry Taylor was the man in the territories. He comes here to
Yep.
WWE, and he's a Red Rooster now.
Right, the red fucking rooster. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen, they
yeah,
did that to they Vince did that to a lot of guys
a lot of
back then.
guys, a
So,
lot of guys.
what do you got? What do you got for
Bro,
honorable mentions?
honorable mentions, bro. I got a bunch.
Oh boy,
Leaping Lenny Poffo,
Leaping Lanny Poffo, who was later the genius.
later the genius. He's another one used to catch beatdowns all the time. So you remember Jim Powers?
Yes, of course.
Jim Powers, he was
Yeah,
an
he was another
enhancement guy,
one.
and then
Yeah,
he teamed up with Paul Roma, and then it became the Young Stallions.
that's right. Yes,
But
right.
they had a little bit of a run there, but before that, he was a jobber. So, and here's a deep cut from, and this is a WCW jobber.
Oh God.
So, and they were a tag team, but he did a lot of solo stuff too. So, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker and Lieutenant James Earl Wright, the State Patrol.
I've I've heard of Parker. Yes, I've heard
Yes,
that name before. Yeah,
Buddy Lee Parker. So
he's good.
I mean, they would come out in these State Patrol outfits, and they had a good act. But they were the jobber tag team. So when the Road Warriors or the Four Horsemen wanted to
Mhm.
beat you down, they would bring
Yeah.
in State Patrol. And Buddy Lee Parker got after that he became one of the trainers in the power plant. So
Oh, nice.
did him well
Okay.
after that,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's all I got.
Yeah, for those who are unaware, the power plant was like WCW's school that they
Yeah.
had
Hmm.
back in the day. So my only the only there were some guys like from more modern that Kurt Hawkins, remember him? He fucking lost. He had that
Mhm.
long losing streak on
Yeah.
WWE TV for a long time. Shout out Kurt Hawkins, Mets fan. Um, who else? Uh Curtis Axel sometimes.
Man,
God,
I
I'm what a
I
dropped, what a missed opportunity
I hated
with
that they
him.
did that to him, bro. It's like, man,
Yeah, me too, dude.
I love when they paired him with Paul Heyman and he won the
Yes.
Intercontinental title. And
Yeah.
he won the Intercontinental title on his father's birthday,
Right.
which
Yes.
is a cool,
Yeah.
little story. And then they never did anything
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. For those who are not aware, Curtis Axel is the son of one Kurt Hennig,
Yeah.
aka Mr. Perfect. So
And you remember
he
that
actually
dumbass name they had before he was Curtis Axel? Mike.
oh, but he was
Yeah.
what was it?
Michael McGillicuddy.
Yes, McGillicuddy. That's right. Yes, yes, yes.
Jeez.
What was Bray Wyatt's name back then?
Husky Harris.
Husky Harris. That's right. Oh my god, fucking terrible. Oh my god. I guess my modern day AEW jobber is Brandon Cutler. I don't know if you remember him getting his ass kicked like all the time at the beginning.
Bro,
Um,
just put the Dark Order in that list.
oh god, dude,
How do those guys still employed?
they're comedy
Well,
wrestlers now. That's the
oh my
problem. But
goodness.
they're in Ring of Honor, which I guess
Yeah,
that's fine. Listen. Once Brody Lee died, rest in peace. That whole thing just
was done.
unfortunately it was
Yeah,
done. Unfortunately, that's what
yeah,
kind of what killed them, what
yeah.
buried them.
That is
So,
true.
um, all right, That wow, I did not think we were gonna go this long. That's what she said. So we will be back next week, obviously. I gotta see if I gotta talk to Larry to see if he can come on next week. I think what we're gonna do if Larry does come on, we're just gonna stick to baseball and just talk about the Mets and the Yankees for like an hour or so. Um, if anything else happens, major talk, we'll talk about it. But I can't. This is a weird period because
Not much going
football's
on.
over. Yeah. There's college stuff. There's college basketball, obviously, but we're just at the beginning of spring training and we're not watching the Olympics. So, like, you know, by the way, I will say one thing. Shout out to Lindsey Vaughn, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because the fact that she tried to ski with a torn ACL and then she was doing fine in the practice runs. And then, did you see the video of the crash?
I saw it at 6:30 in the morning in the gym this morning. I saw it.
Oh God, bro. She had to be airlifted off the course and
Yeah.
she's okay. Broke her leg. But listen, it sucks because this was probably gonna be her last Olympics.
Yeah.
And I think she's how old is she? She's like in her 40s.
Is she? I think she's late
Lindsay.
30s. Say what you want
Oh,
about the
okay.
Olympics, and we don't watch the Olympics, but those guys, they train for 4 years for this stuff, man. And
Yeah,
then
no, it's crazy.
and something like this happens, bro,
She's
and it's
41.
like,
She's 41.
oh, she is 41. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely her last shot.
I mean, you gotta. If she comes back in 4 years at 45, that would be fucking. That's impressive, bro.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think so. But yeah, you could.
But
I'm sorry, you were saying.
no, no, I'm just like I say, we don't watch the Olympics, but it's no shot at the athletes. Those guys,
Oh
they
no, yeah,
for 4 years they put their life on the line. That they train like crazy. Some of these, especially the Winter Olympics, is crazy. Like the
yeah,
skiing and then
yeah.
that skeleton. I forgot what they call it. The
Skeleton.
skeleton,
Yep. Yeah, skeleton. Yeah, yeah,
bro.
yeah,
You
yeah.
putting your life on the line. You going super fast head first.
Exactly.
Give me a break,
Exactly.
bro. No
The
way.
crazy thing is, dude, when I was growing up, I loved watching this shit, dude.
Hmm.
Especially the Winter Olympics because
Stuff you don't see.
It it was stuff like bobsled,
Yeah.
the luge, the ski jumping, the speed skating. I even used to watch the figure skating because, bro, back in the like the 80s and 90s, figure skating was like the shit, dude.
Yeah,
I
Nancy
mean,
Kerrigan.
Nancy Kerrigan, yeah, Brian Botano, a bunch of it's freaking insane. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Again, it's like it's funny because it's more easy to watch now because even though the time difference, they're showing the stuff on Peacock as it happens.
Mm,
So you don't even have to wait anymore, to like
yeah.
the nighttime because of the time difference. But dude, I was in the gym the other day and they had it's called the ski athlon. So basically, they're doing everybody's on skis and you're like racing and you're like skiing up a hill. It was actually really interesting. But
Mm,
yeah, man, I don't know. It's to your point. There's so much shit that we're watching now,
yeah.
and other sports and stuff like that, and just busy at work and stuff. But
It's a
I don't know.
different time, man. Back then we had
Yeah.
like eight channels to look at.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And now we're too damn distracted. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us. I am Will Hernandez here for Mr. Eric Pimentel, and we will see y'all next week. Peace out, everyone.
See ya.